Blessed.
Every
Rastafari.
good man that man is an angel, and our God, the King of serve, and I serve this book of life, and in its revelation, see now what I have find. Haile Selassie is the champion. Every good man now knows that man is an angel, and our God, the King of Kings, and our God, the King of Kings, and our God, the King of Kings, and our God, the King of Kings. Our God, the
Blessed greetings, my Lord and
Rastafari.
blessed greetings, my Lord and Empress. Welcome to another presentation by the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress Council of Elders as we present a celebration of the birth of His Imperial Majesty, late Tafari. Today is Sunday, July 19th, 2026. And I will turn it over now to the Honorable Priest Imesley. My Lord, blessed and welcome.
Majesty bless, Honorable Empress, and we call for a virtual reverence in the virtual courts of Rastafari. Unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and he shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Ever-Living Father, the Prince of Peace, the Almighty God in flesh, a man, King Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Upon the throne of David there shall be no end, said the mighty God of Zion. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for us, brethren and sisters, to dwell together in unity and love. It's like the precious ointment upon our head that went down onto our beard. Here and Aaron's beard that went down onto the skirts of his garment. As the dew of Hermon, and as the dew that descended upon the mountain of Zion. From where the Lord commanded his majesty blessings, even life and love forevermore. So hail our God, Selassie, Jehovah God, Jah Rastafari. Our Almighty God, Jah Rastafari. Great and terrible God, Jah Rastafari is the highest. Because thy holy face is shine upon us, thy children, that we shall be saved and redeemed. O thou most high God, Jah Rastafari. His foundation is in the holy mountains. The Lord loveth the gates of Zion more than all dwelling places of Jacob. Glorious things are spoken of thee, O thou great God of Zion. King Selassie, Jah Rastafari. Welcome, 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 one and all, as we come together, fellowshipping with each other to celebrate, the auspicious event that took place 23rd of July, 1892, with the birth of our God and King, the mighty I am, fulfilling the continual continuity coming through the line. Christ always in the midst. We glorify and give thanks for each and everyone who took time out of their busy schedule to come and fellowship with us. For we see at the end of the day, all glory belongs to God, the black God, King Selassie. So with all that is said and done, we do have a mighty program ahead of us, to glorify the moments and to commemorate the moments, because we see the white world follow we and just try to commemorate for them moment. So it's just a natural for I to commemorate our moments. And with that said, we'll hand it over to the Honorable Secretary, hand it over to the Honorable Empress Miriam, the Archangel, the to bless us with a wonderful chorus leading forward. Honorable Empress Miriam,
Oh,
Majesty.
blessed love, royal chair, and give thanks to my Lord for another day, and give thanks to the Sabbath gone by as we gather here to celebrate, our Father's anniversary. We give thanks to each and every one who take time out of their busy schedule to join us today in such a wonderful program that is set, each and every one. Even though I wanted was to sing a hymn, but it's okay, as I did not know it was really today we are celebrating. So I will just sing this little chorus, Honorable Priest. And it said, Bring out Mount Zion bells when I reach home. Bring out Mount Zion bells when I reach home. Our sorrows will
We
be
be
over. Heaven, joy come over. Or I say, ring out Mount Zion bells when I reach home. Only I say, ring out Mount Zion bells when I reach home. Our sorrows will be over. How heavenly joys come over. Or I say, ring out Mount Zion bells when I reach home. Bring out Mount Zion bells when I reach home. Our sorrows will be over. How heavenly joys come over. For I say, ring out Mount Zion bells when I reach home. Down, holy Mount Zion, 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 I, Lord, holy Mount Zion, Zion, Jehovah,
Jah
Jah,
Rastafari.
Rastafari.
What a celebration and love, my Lord and Empress. Blessed love, priest. Give thanks. Back to the chair.
Honorable Majesty Emperor, Empress Miriam, you
Give
always
thanks.
pick such an appropriate chorus or hymn all the time. We
Mm,
glorify you and magnify your talents, Empress. It's a
my
joy to
Lord.
be in the midst of such a wonderful Omega.
Give
Blessed Lord.
thanks. Give thanks, priest, and blessed love.
Honorable Priest Evans, our co-chair, my Lord, you can bless us with a welcoming word on this prelude to our Majesty Bertram.
Worthy chair. Give thanks, my Lord and Empress. Give thanks to each and every one. True heart of welcome, as we, are on the verge to celebrate the 134th anniversary of our King, return to the earth and, with such merriment, such showers of blessings upon the land, you know. So we give thanks for the Council of Elders to put this program together to even, teach the sequence of His Majesty birth, you know, where he has reached to his titles as Haile Selassie from Tafara, So we give thanks and glorify the information. And we give thanks for, the man of all the great titles, the man of the moment, Boom Trapper, the mighty majesty, the many, many titles as we could go on, the King of Kings, So we give thanks and glorify the information in this program. Hope we all enjoy the program and have a listening ear, and we could all learn something more about His Majesty and follow His examples, His teachings, His sayings, and His doings, So we give thanks to the Ababa Janai, King Celestia, Jah,
Rastafari.
Rastafari, my Lord and Empress. Enjoy the program. Blessed.
My Lord. And our beloved Royal Secretary will bless us with the roll call.
Blessed love, my Lord and Empress present and our YouTube family by extension. Heart of celebration, love and joy and peace and prosperity coming forward, And this is the roll call for the 19th of July, 2026. Honorable Priest Earl. Honorable Priest Rasavana. Blessed love, my Lord, give thanks. Honorable Priest Rasavana.
Present family, give thanks, heart of celebration.
Priest Seven.
Blessed love, gods and goddesses.
Honorable Priest Aimsley, our chair.
Majesty, bless.
Blessed love, Honorable Prophet Albert.
Give thanks, Honorable. Give thanks, Royal Family.
Love, Honorable Leading Empress Lily May.
Blessed love, one and all, happy celebration.
Heart of love, Honorable
Majesty.
Leading Empress Miriam.
Blessed love, Empress.
Royalty, Honorable Empress Trisha.
To love, my Lord and Empress.
Honorable Empress Dion.
Empress Akim.
Because I see an extra numbers on the screen. Honorable Empress Akim.
Blessed love, blessed.
And
Majesty.
we have someone with the name of Zoom user. Zoom user.
Good Honorable Priest Barry, is there that?
Blessed love, Royal Family. All power, heart of celebration.
My Lord.
Blessed.
My Lord, blessed love. Let the record show at the beginning of the meeting there were 11 participants present. You will see 12 on the screen. I am present twice. Remember to stay hydrated. Remember to stay hydrated and beat that heat. We are having heat waves all over the world. So please, please, please stock up on your electrolytes, which you get from coconut water and normal water, which is most healthy. And we have the EABIC Council of Elders, Sunday, July 19, 2026. We are celebrating the birth of Lidge Tafari. A celebration of the birth of Lidge Tafari, 134 years of life, works, and liberty. And please remember, we are live streaming on YouTube. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to come and sit and learn, share, and teach one to another. Or we are not teaching, we are not preaching, but we are learning and sharing. So please like, share, and subscribe.
Oh, blessed love, Honorable Empress Diane, give thanks for that. Give thanks for all who are here as we go forward with our inspiration, which today comes from members of a new race, teachings of His Imperial Majesty, Haile Selassie I on education. Education may be linked to a large tree with many branches. It compares various categories of instructions and disciplines, each of which, like medicine, engineering, naval and military science, police crafts, and aviation, which calls for specialized studies, is among the vitally important activities of a nation. The benefits of education may be viewed in two ways. The first, as mentioned in my speech, is in lifting the standards of the nation, and secondly, in the shaping and development of one's character, which might reflect in the direction of both good and evil. It should be your will and desire to eschew evil and always pursue good. It is for this reason that we have never failed to stress to our people the need and the value of education. The truly educated man is endowed with a sense of obligation to society. The potentialities of education are unlimited. The acquisitions of knowledge and skills calls for patient learning and hard work. But without education, a man is nothing, a promise unfulfilled, a potential unrealized. In the hands of those whose minds are not guided by a basic concern for humanity, however, education can become a dangerous and secretive weapon. Man's education never stops, and in a profession as complex and difficult as yours, you must strive ceaselessly to put into practice your theoretical knowledge and to keep yourselves abreast of new technical developments. Place your faith and trust in Almighty God, for without His assistance and guidance, man is but a weak and puny creature. We have long recognized that raising the general level of education in Ethiopia requires the opening of many institutions of higher learning, and that we should not attain our objectives unless this was accomplished. and large numbers of our people receive extensive education. We believe that education is the hope which shall assure the progress of our people, and it is our wish to assure the spread of education among all African people as much as our own subjects. Students are leaders of the future and are not bounded by the past. We urge you to work hard and study in recognition of the responsibilities that have been imposed on you as the pioneers of the coming generation. Let it be known that Ethiopia holds priority on the use of the natural wealth of hers, my Lord and Empress. And here ends the reading of His Imperial Majesty, members of Anuris.
Rastafari.
We will move forward to the EABIC Council of Elders and the Women Freedom Liberation League promotes preventative medical care. An ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. My Lord and Empress, moving forward.
Majesty bless, Honorable Empress.
Today's Health Corner is on dementia. The information is taken from Alzheimer's Association, the Mayo Clinic, WebMD, and Medscape. Dementia is not a single disease, but an umbrella term for a broad range of symptoms that impair memory, thinking, reasoning, and the ability to perform everyday activities. It is caused by underlying brain diseases that damage nerve cells, but it is not a normal part of aging. Common symptoms. The specific symptoms vary depending on the area of the brain that is damaged, but typically include memory loss, frequently forgetting recent events, conversation, or names, cognitive decline, difficulty with complex tasks, confusion or trouble concentrating, communication issues, struggling to find the right words or following the instructions, behavioral changes, uncharacteristic mood swings, anxiety or shifts in personality. Common causes. Dementia can be triggered by several progressive or acquired conditions, including Alzheimer's diseases, which is the most common cause, accounting for 60 to 80% of cases, involving the buildup of abnormal proteins in the brain. Also, vascular dementia, caused by microscopic bleeding and blocked blood vessels in the brain, often occurring after a stroke. Lewy body dementia involves protein clumps that impact memory, behavior, and movement. And frontotemporal dementia, which affects the brain's frontal and temporal lobes, altering personality, behavior, and language. Diagnosis and management. While dementia is generally progressive and cannot be cured, treatments and support services are available to help manage symptoms and maintain quality of life. An early and accurate diagnosis is critical, as some conditions that mimic dementia, such as thyroid problems or vitamin deficiencies, are reversible. While dementia currently has no cure, modern treatments focus on managing symptoms, slowing progression, and improving quality of life. Key interventions include disease-modifying therapies, memory-enhancing medications, and targeted lifestyles and non-drug therapies. 1. Disease-modifying medication. For early-stage Alzheimer's diseases, anti-amyloid therapies like lecanemab and donanemab are approved to slowly cognitive and functional decline by targeting and removing harmful amyloid plaques in the brain. Symptom management medication. 2. These drugs do not stop the underlying disease, but can temporarily improve memory, thinking, and behavior. Cholinesterase inhibitors, excuse the long, big words. For example, donepezil, rivastigmine, and galantamine, used to treat mild to moderate Alzheimer's and some other dementias by preventing the breakdown of a key chemical messenger in the brain. NMDA receptor antagonists, examples, memantine, prescribed for moderate to severe stages to regulate brain activity and improve daily function. And we do ask that, you bear with us with these big, large words. 3, managing mood behavior. Neuropsychiatric symptoms like agitation, depression, and anxiety often require targeted treatments. Non-pharmacological approaches. Identifying environmental triggers, adjusting your routines, and offering therapies like music or art are typically tried first. Medications. Selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, the SSRIs, are often used for depression, while antipsychotics or newer FDA-approved options may be used cautiously for severe distressing agitation. 4, lifestyle interventions. Maintaining a heart-healthy diet, staying physically and socially active, and managing vascular risk factors such as blood pressure and diabetes are highly recommended to support brain health and potentially slow cognitive decline. There is no scientific cure for dementia, but certain herbs and natural lifestyle strategies can help manage symptoms and support brain health. Clinical evidence for herbal treatments remains mixed, and they should always be discussed with a doctor as they can interact dangerously with prescription medication. And I will repeat that. Clinical evidence for herbal treatments remains mixed, and they should always be discussed with a doctor as they can interact dangerously with prescription medication. Here is a breakdown of the most researched herbs, natural lifestyle therapies, and safety risks. Research herbs for brain health: saffron. Some clinical trials indicate that 30 milligrams of daily saffron extract supports cognitive performance similarly to standard Alzheimer's medications like donepezil, but with fewer side effects. Ginkgo biloba, widely widely used to promote blood flow to the brain. Specific extracts like the EGB 761 have shown promise in improving behavioral and psychological symptoms of dementia. Huperzine A, derived from Chinese club moss. This natural alkaloid acts as a reversible acetylcholinesterase inhibitor to help maintain neurotransmitter levels involved in learning. Turmeric, curcumin, contains powerful anti-inflammatory properties that may help clear the brain of beta amyloid plaques, which are linked to Alzheimer's disease. Sage, used traditionally for memory enhancement, it contains active compounds that modulate acetylcholine to support overall cognitive function. Ashwagandha and ginseng. These adaptogenic herbs are studied for their potential to reduce oxidative stress and lower beta amyloid levels in the brain. Natural and complementary therapies. Aromatherapy. Utilizing lemon balm oil can help improve mood and cognition, while lavender oil is frequently used to naturally reduce aggressive behavior and agitation. Physical exercise. Getting 150 minutes of weekly movement increases brain volume and reduces systemic inflammation. It also improves strength and balance while mitigating restlessness. Brain boosting diet. Prioritizing foods high in antioxidants such as berries, colorful vegetables, fish rich in omega-3 fatty acids, and whole grains helps defend against cognitive decline. Structured routines. Helping individuals awaken, eat, and perform tasks at set times provides cognitive stability and reduces anxiety. Critical safety precautions. Bleeding risk. Ginkgo biloba and ginger act as natural blood thinners and should never be combined with prescription anticoagulants. Toxicity hazards. Consuming common sage or nutmeg in large concentrated medicinal amounts can be neurotoxic and cause delirium or liver issues. Regulatory concerns. Unlike medical drugs, herbal supplements are not strictly standardized, meaning their potency and ingredients can vary widely. Always consult a neurologist before introducing them. If you are looking into this for a loved one, it would help to know, have they been diagnosed with a specific type of dementia, like Alzheimer's or vascular? Are they currently taking any prescription medications? What specific symptoms like memory loss, anxiety, or sleeplessness are you most hoping to manage? Symptoms of dementia. The signs and symptoms of dementia vary significantly from one person to another, and its cognitive deficits include communication and language impairments, memory loss, etc. The most common symptoms of dementia include psychosis, hallucinations, delusions, agitation, apathy, and aggression. Causes of dementia. Damage or changes in the brain cause dementia. Different diseases may cause dementia and are associated with an abnormal grouping of proteins in the brain, which causes nerve cells to function less, nerve cells to die, and brain areas to shrink. The following are the most common causes of dementia: Alzheimer's disease, stroke, short-term memory, Parkinson's disease, frontotemporal dementia, and severe injury to the head. Prevention of dementia. There is no proven prevention for dementia, but maintaining a good, healthy lifestyle decreases the risk of dementia. Below are some of the necessary measures to be taken to prevent dementia in people. 1, maintaining a healthy weight. 2, controlling blood pressure. 3, controlling blood sugar levels. 4, keeping physically active. 5, staying mentally active. 6, treating hearing loss. 7, avoiding alcohol. 8, proper sleep. 9, avoiding the usage of tobacco. And 10, preventing head injuries. Medical disclaimer. The advice and information being shared in any form, text, audio, video, etc., is intended for general knowledge. If you believe you have a specific medical condition, we strongly advise you to seek a qualified healthcare worker for a personal evaluation, my Lord and Empress. Blessed love.
Majesty bless, my Lord
Bless.
and Empress. We give thanks for those information. Couple things I would like to add there. First and foremost, we see this study that we was just reading from came from the Mayo Clinic in America. And just a gentle reminder to each and every one that the head of the Mayo Clinic is Honorable Dr. Priest Desmond Brown, Bobo Shanti, to show you say in high and low places also, Other thing, we see of turmeric and they talk about curriculum, that is the ingredient in turmeric. I get to understand that Japan, Okinawa, Japan, has the highest concentration of curriculum in any turmeric. We have it in Trinidad, but the percentage of the curriculum is low. But Japan, I believe, have between 65 to 80% of the curriculum. Next point. I had to come down here and deal with my father, and I was very inexperienced. It was a real challenge. Couple things I know, if you ever have to deal with it, the color red does create them. They need to wear cooler colors. And music is also for all timers, patience. It calms, I had to learn it the hard way. I took care of my dad. I never put him in no nursing home right down to the end, but it was a challenge. So I give thanks for these points and references. As they say, an ounce of cure is better than an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. So we give thanks for all these reasoning going through, and the floor, we have our program set. Do you have any readings, Honorable Empress?
The next thing that we'll be doing is a video, Honorable Empress Dion, if you can upload a video, please.
Okay.
If you can share the video.
All right. Yes, my Lord Empress, and seeing that is our Majesty the strong worldwide, internationally, as information has really updated the universe with all these information. We would like to kindly say, wherever you are celebrating His Majesty, let us go in with a heart of love, heart of cooperation, a heart of understanding. Let us use the example showed by His Majesty, for human relations, and it would be a good thing for us to observe those teachment of His Majesty. For His Majesty come and show us so many things, so many things. So we give thanks again and looking forward to a blessed program moving forward. Honorable Empress, is the video ready?
Royal family, Honorable Tech, you need to control the screen, the screen presentation, please.
And a blessed love to all.
Presentation is showing video, showing images of I and not showing the what is supposed to be on the screen itself. Like the video, we're not seeing the video presentation. We're just seeing some other things on.
Give us 1 second.
Yeah. And you also, welcome all those of us who on the YouTube channel, fellowshipping with I. We do glorify and give thanks. And give thanks, even for technology. Because His Majesty say if they had created the technology with love, we would have been 10 times further. But we give thanks for the technology that we can still do such mighty works universally, internationally. We can fellowship with each other. It's truly a great joy, So with that, we'll turn it over to the Honorable Empress with this video. Blessed love, Empress.
It is the birthday of the Emperor of Ethiopia, Emperor Haile Selassie. The miraculous survived baby to be the future Emperor Haile Selassie of Ethiopia. Emperor Haile Selassie's story starts with miraculous survival, so no one ever expected him to sit on the throne and lead the country for half a century. The emperor's mother, Mrs. Yashimabet, married Haile Selassie's father, Ras Mekonnen, at the age of 12. Even though she was pregnant 8 times, she did not manage to deliver a baby even once. While she was desperate of delivering a baby to feel the love and cuddle, she became pregnant for the 9th time, and the boy joined this world in peace. His survival by itself for the mother was more than being a king. As she tried 8 times but did not succeed to have a baby, once she saw Haile Selassie survived 2 years, she hoped to have a younger brother or sister for her boy and became pregnant, but did not manage to deliver the baby. Unfortunately, the baby died as soon as it was born. Mrs. Yashimabet was weakened and grieved. Emperor Haile Selassie's mother also passed away. Despite their frequent birth defects and miscarriages, moreover, she passed away at the age of 30 after being married for 18 years, and Haile Selassie was 2 years and 8 months old. The emperor's father, Ras Mekonnen Volder Michael, also died suddenly in March 14 years after his wife's death, while he traveled on his way to Addis Ababa for medical treatment. It was miraculous divine interference for Haile Selassie to lead great Ethiopia, being the only child alive in their childhood. He was born on July 23, 1892, in a mud hut in the village of Ejersa Goro in the Harhar province of Ethiopia. Haile Selassie's mother was paternally of Oromo descent and maternally of Guraji heritage, while his father was both maternally and paternally Amhara. It is through his paternal grandmother's royal lineage which he was able to ascend the imperial throne. He was originally named Lij Tafari Makonnen, so he was the only surviving and legitimate son of Ras Makonnen, the governor of Harhar. Among his father's important allies was his cousin, Emperor Menelik II, who did not have a male heir to succeed him. Haile Selassie was raised as a Christian, and at his infant baptism he was also given the name Haile Selassie, which he adopted as his official name in 1930 when he became emperor. Haile Selassie translates to power of the Trinity, and he was also known as the King of Kings. He is believed to be a direct descendant of King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba, two ancient rulers from the 10th century BCE. Raised as a Christian, Tafari was educated by private European tutors. Haile Selassie spent his youth at the imperial court of Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Surrounded by constant political plots, he learned much about the wielding of power. Menelik no doubt recognized Tafari's capacity for hard work, his excellent memory, and his mastery of detail. The emperor rewarded the youth's intellectual and personal capabilities by appointing him, at the age of 14, the governor of Gara Muleta in the province of Harhar. When he was 20, the emperor appointed him commander of the extensive province of Sidamo. This was part 1 of Emperor Haile Selassie's story. Thanks for watching. Please stay with us to learn and enjoy more of Africa's fascinating story.
Majesty. Give thanks and we move forward into the introduction. And I will preach Rastafari, my Lord.
Blessed art of celebration, royal family, those near and far. Rastafari. The birth of Lich Tafari was greatly anticipated by his parents, his nation, and continent. It was also awaited by the world, which was in turmoil. Humans were in conflict, fighting for world power in World War I and II. It can be compared to the biblical time when Abraham fought at the Battle of Kings. Abraham met Melchizedek, the man of peace, who enlightened him to a consciousness of sacredness that would become a science for peace and prosperity. Emperor Tafari, the Messiah, brought a similar message of hope for peace. As one who inherited an autocratic leadership, he tried to maneuver an impossible position. The feudal chiefs thought His Imperial Majesty was moving too fast, while the young students thought he was moving too slow. It is said that he put down dissenting opposition and separatist movements. To fully understand his methods, one must know the history of Ethiopia and the desire of European countries to rule Ethiopia. He fought hard to modernize and shape Ethiopia for the future. He gave the people their first constitution, which is not in line with previous autocratic principles. He had a practice of giving alms to the poor and scholarship to the students. At the end of his tenure, when the students revolted, before he abdicated his throne, he asked his aide, why were the people revolting? Upon receiving the answer that they wanted changes, His Imperial Majesty responded that the people had finally got the right idea. His final official statement was, "If the people are for the revolution, I am for it." And so the journey of change continues, my Lord and Empress.
Majesty bless. We continue with our program moving forward, celebrating the 134th Earthstrong anniversary of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie, the birth of Haile Selassie. Emperor Haile Selassie was born Tafari Makonnen on July 23, 1892, in the town of Ejursa Goro, in the Harar province of Ethiopia. His birth brought immense hope as the only surviving son of Ras Makonnen, a cousin and trusted general of Emperor Menelik II. As a descendant of the solemn beginning of the life of the last Ethiopian emperor. Tafari is birthed in 1892.
Breaking up, Chris.
Set the stage for a lineage variants believe embodies the divine.
You were breaking up. Start from the beginning again.
From Emperor?
Yeah, let's start. Yeah, start from where?
All right. Continue. Emperor Haile Selassie was born Tafari Makonnen on July 23, 1892, in the town of Ejursa Goro, in the Harar province of Ethiopia. His birth brought immense hope as the only surviving son of Ras Makonnen, a cousin and trusted general of Emperor Menelik II. As a descendant of the Solomonic dynasty, his 1892 arrival marked the beginning of the life of the last Ethiopian emperor. Tafari's birth in 1892 set the stage for a lineage that Rastafarians believe embodies the divine. Born in the Harar province, his childhood was shaped by the political and traditional courts of the Ethiopian Empire. His father, Ras Makonnen, was deeply involved in Emperor Menelik's modernization of Ethiopia and provided young Tafari with a blend of traditional education and broad European influence learning. By the time he reached his teenage years, his capability and distinguished royal lineage propelled him into early governance, becoming the governor of Gara Mulita at just 14 years old. This 1892 beginning laid the groundwork for his eventual ascent to the throne in 1930, where he took the regional name Haile Selassie, meaning power of the Trinity, Most High Selassie, Jah, Rastafari.
Honorable Prophet Barry, are you with us? Chris Barry, Brady, are you with us?
Yes, Empress.
Can you read next, please? The Triple Crown.
Give me 1 second.
Rastafari.
Let's love royal family. The Triple Crown refers to the elaborate imperial crown placed on Haile Selassie during his coronation as Emperor of Ethiopia on November 2nd, 1930. It symbolized his multifaceted role as a political leader, spiritual guardian, as power of the Trinity, and protector of the land. The November 2nd, 1930 coronation ceremony in Addis Ababa was steeped in ancient Orthodox ritual and attended by dignitaries from 72 nations. The Archbishop of the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church, Abuna Kyrillos, anointed the emperor and placed the imperial triple crown on his head. The crown itself featured significant religious iconography. For instance, one of the primary crowns used by the emperor displayed a carving of St. George on a white horse, a traditional symbol in Ethiopian culture, representing the triumph of righteousness and Christianity over evil. To be continued, my Lord and Majesty, Empress. Me see him where?
Honorable Empress Akim.
Modernization. Honorable Empress Akim, blessed.
Blessed love, modernization. Haile Selassie I, upon assuming his position as emperor, continued the modernizing of Ethiopia, which was started by Emperor Menelik. Haile Selassie I gave the people their first constitution in 1931 and amended it in 1955 at the Silver Jubilee of his coronation. His Imperial Majesty built the first military school to train the continent's military leaders. He built universities and schools to educate his people, while the Empress built the first school for females. He extended the railways, established an airline, and advanced the agricultural development. Haile Selassie I traveled extensively and forged valuable relationships that would assist his nation in the future. During the Second Italo-Ethiopian War, he gave one of the world's most passionate and profound speeches ever given by a leader. Eventually, it was his relationship with Britain that helped him retake his throne in 1941. His Imperial Majesty was also the chief architect behind the establishment of the Organization of African Unity. The emperor was anti-nuclear proliferation and an advocate for disarmament. Haile Selassie I left a legacy of expectancy. He left Rastafari to carry on the work of organizing and centralizing people of African descent so as to create a better future for all humanity. To be continued. Blessed.
Honorable Empress Diane.
Blessed love, my Lord and Empress.
Majesty bless.
Man of faith. Tafari was bestowed with a throne name upon becoming emperor, Haile Selassie I, meaning power of the Trinity. A name that depicts the role he was to play and the fulfillment of an ancient prophecy, Revelation 17, verse 14, and Revelation chapter 19, verse 16, speaks of the title of King of Kings and of one who wore many crowns and who would bring justice to the world. Haile Selassie I is the only known human to receive 3 crowns, or the Triple Crown. On September 27, 1916, Rastafari was named regent and crown prince. On 27th September 1928, Empress Zora II bestowed the title of Negus on Rastafari. Upon the passing of Empress Zora II in 1930, Rastafari became emperor on the 30th November, a coronation of pomp and pageantry never seen before or since. a clear declaration to the world of his presence. The Messiah was here. This marked the time of grace for humanity to get their act together and get things right. On 21st January 1965, at the Conference of Oriental Orthodox Churches of the World, Haile Selassie was enthroned with the title Defender of the Faith, a title he earned by the tolerance and devotion he exhibited over his lifespan. During the Italo-Ethiopia War, when he retook his throne from Rome, the display of forgiveness and mercy to those Italians within his realm was an act of the divine. His Imperial Majesty tolerance for people of other faiths was also a Christ-like action. Emperor Haile Selassie visited Vatican City twice, in 1924 on 21st June, where he met Pope Pius IX, and on November 9, 1970.
Continue.
And on November 9, 1970, where he had a private audience with Pope Paul V. Prayers was a common ritual of His Imperial Majesty during the War of 1935, with the Roman persecutors on his heel. He stopped to pray. The only time Haile Selassie resorted to violence was in defense of his nation and of justice. We will fight if we find it necessary, for we are confident in the victory of good over evil. His Imperial Majesty, a true man of faith.
Founder of the movement. The 1930 coronation was the fulfillment of a prophecy for the most Garveyites, who were aware of Garvey's vision of a king being crowned in Africa. This would be a sign of African redemption. When color pictures were invented, one of the first exposures to the world was the pictures of the 1930 coronation displayed in the National Geographic magazine. These images confirmed that Christ in his kingly character had arrived. There and then emerged Rastafari, a movement of Jah people. This began the 20th century exit of the African prisoner of war eastward bound. A new name, Jah, got its terrible among men, and it's terrible among men. Jah Rastafari.
Rastafari.
Yes, blessed. And that ends the first part of today's program. Would we be having
Majesty bless, my Lord and Empress. And we see the character of His Majesty from birth until him ascend the throne was always a man of integrity, respect, and honor. He was not a man of you never hear him with no slack conversation or no slanderous words. He always choose the best word to address the situation and always had peace as his foundation, true man of faith. This mighty man, and whatever we say, hail to the triple crown God, Jah Rastafari, Sila, Selassie, Jah Rastafari, my Lord and Empress. Have any reason, any kind of word song before Priest 7 pick it up? Or I can't go in it?
To the chair.
Yes, my Lord.
Yes. The birth of Haile Selassie, the first, was a fulfillment in many ways. Just before his birth, there were many signs across the world that announced that something special was in the making. Ethiopia was under terrible drought during that moment. Beyond just the fact that he was the only surviving child of 8 previous births, he was the ninth, and he was the only survivor of those pregnancies, which is you'd say, a miracle of its own. There was this terrible drought that caused famine throughout the land, where several thousand people died. And on that moment, the eve of his birth, the famine broke. His father, Ras McConnell, was returning from an altercation with his army and heading home. He sighted a mango tree with ripe mangoes and rode over and picked one. As soon as he picked it and bit into it, he observed some worms, and immediately he received a message, an internal message, confirming within him that his wife was giving birth. The story goes that he threw the mango away and he made haste, traveling ahead of his army, to reach home. As he reached into his region, the heavens opened up. The place became dark and the heavens opened up and showers of blessing came down as he reached his place of abode. As he entered the commune, he could hear the mothers looing, and that looing was a symbol, was a sign that the birth was successful. They were looing in a joyous way. They were not mourning. They were expressing gratitude and reverence for what had just happened. The living child coming into life.
Honorable priest, when you say lewin, give everyone a clearance just what is lewin. My Lord, Rastafari.
They were looing.
They were looing.
And it was a set of them all in unison. So it was amplified,
Yes,
and that's what he heard, and he knew that, yes, once and for all, his wife had given birth to a living child. And he rushed in. Yeah, he rushed in. They say he rushed in. He greeted his wife. Then he took the baby. He held the baby up and he made a prayer, giving this child or pledging this child to the service of the Almighty. See? So these are things that we don't normally hear or acknowledge, but these are very special actions that define the person Haile Selassie is and the role he came to play, because he had no choice over that role. His father made a pledge at his birth, pledging that he would serve the Almighty in a special way. And he lived up to that promise because he was a faithful son. And he was a son that loved his father. Being, as we heard earlier, his mother passed when he was 2 years and some months, giving birth to another child that didn't live. And it took her out. It is said that not just the rigor of birth that affected her, but a broken heart is what really took her out, because she was earnestly trying to give her little son a sibling that he could grow with. That was the purpose of her attempting a a 10th pregnancy. See, and that took her out. So his father is who grew him from the age of 2. So he was attached to his father. And it is said that in many cases, his father was a strong-willed person, just like he, Haile Selassie, is, and did not listen a lot to many people. But when there was something that he needed to do, Ras McConnell needed to do, and was opposing it, his son is the one who would let him comply. His son would present the pros and cons of whatever it was, and they say that his father would yield to his son's request, showing you the great bond that the both of them have. See, there were 2 individuals that came to fulfill a great role. It was Ras McConnell, who was the master architect at the Battle of Ottawa, along with Empress Taitu. They were the 2 that put their heads together and came up with the strategy that defeated the Italians. So that is a role he came to play. He stood mightifully beside Emperor Menelik and made sure that the empire developed in a certain type of way, which is a modern type of way. As you know, Emperor Menelik was who started the modernization, and that was under the advice and guidance of Ras McConnell, who was a forward thinker. That's why he trained his son the way he did. He made sure that his son traveled from early out across the spectrum of the world to learn how the world functioned, that he could master his position as a leader that was to guide Ethiopia into this moment where we are today, seeing that the continent of Africa gained its liberty on the back of Ethiopia, fulfilling the prophecy again that says that government would be upon his shoulder. See? So I just wanted to insert that into the narrative of this moment. Back to the chair.
My lord, give thanks. And you mentioned 2 things: the love and pride slash the bond of his majesty and his father. Later on in the program, I will give a specific example of how deep that bond is. But a thing of him, I don't know if everyone pick up that, of interest, what the word song that you black, because the Honorable Ras McConnell went right into the chamber and lifted up the birth of the youth. He wasn't even a day old. He was hours old, you know. So yeah, still we see in our principles, when our empress gave birth, we get put her in a separate and for 3 months. So I just want to show that while we do that, as maintaining our Melchizedek priesthood ordinances, it is not like to say the baby or anything was so, polluted that, pre-adventure something come around and we are wrong at child. It's not a pollution something, because the Ras McConnell held his beloved son. So I just want to show that difference. I say, while we hold that principle, our mindset that we have is not to say, well, like, it's a pollution. It's a principle we, as priests, observe, within the Melchizedek order. My Lord and Empress. And
Yes,
any
my
other...
lord. Before you move, I would like to add to that. When you open the door there, say a man like me, I go run through.
Yes.
My lord, again, a thing that's a phenomenon that's a blessing cannot be a curse.
Rastafari.
The birth of a child is a blessing. The womb of a woman is a blessed place. It is the what you call the physical expression of what we call heaven.
Rastafari.
The womb of a empress, the womb of a woman. See? So We must understand what are church principles versus wrong and evil and destruction. See, we have a church principle, which is a monasteric principle, wherein after the birth of a child, the mother is separated for a moment to recoup and regain her energy and her functionability while having a moment to focus on that child, totally giving that child everything that that child needs within that moment. You see, those 2 months, 3 months, whatever the principle is, and whatever the birth of the child, being male or female, is, those that time allows the mother to totally focus on that child and give that child the care, the nurturing, the attention that that child needs. Today in the modern world, people don't have that time. And that's why we see the world going out of course. That's why children are how they are. That's why there is no real tight bond between parents and children anymore. As soon as the child reaches a certain age, they separate off and seek to go away from the family. See, a child, you send your child off, and I will end with this. You send your child off to college, and upon graduating, that child doesn't come back home to strengthen the empire and to build with the family. That child now establishes their own home and family and all of that. And nothing is wrong with that per se, but it is not the African way. The African traditional way is for that child acknowledging its responsibility, acknowledging its blessing and its opportunity to have gone out and achieved this skill set, this potential, would return home to fortify home, to make sure now that even for the next couple years, give forward to the parents what they sacrifice for that child to achieve. See, that's the African way. To whom much is given, much is required. See, but we have lost those principles with the Western brainwashing that we have achieved. It teaches us individuality. It does not teach us unity. It does not teach us bonding, which is a key word. Bonding. Not just being together, because people can be together. Families are together and they war and do all kinds of conflicting things. But when you are bonded, there's a difference. You know what the bonding agent is? The bonding agent is love. Like the glue that holds your shoe bottom to the rest of the shoe. The glue is love. That bonding agent is love. So when we say a one or ones are bonded or a family is a bonded family, that those two individuals or that family portrays a solid love for each other. Blessed family.
My Lord, Majesty bless. And any other one have any comments as we move along? Floor is open. Anything jump out in your heavens after the readings that was just read? Okay.
Or anything that anyone have that can, any meditation you have towards them, or anything that you have heard or defined for yourself, you can share it. This is a place now to share it. We're here to celebrate today, even though it's a place
Rastafari.
celebrate together, to give our reverence, our tribute, our love and our appreciation to our
Blessed,
Father for being
blessed
merciful
Lord.
and loving towards us. Honorable Mama Lily, give thanks.
I
Floor is
see Peace
open.
Brown cameras on, but I would like to say that happy celebration, one and all.
Give
Give
thanks.
thanks Wonderful, wonderful presentation. I had the privilege of going to Jezagoro, and it is very, very beautiful, mountainous place. I went to the place where His Majesty was reincarnated, where they buried his navel string under a tree. The tree is there, and it's in the churchyard, and there's a priest's house and the adjoining property where Lazaro, the Shimabet, gave birth to His Majesty, this Tafari. There's just is a wall between the church property and the property where she gave birth, the compound, and there's a gate that you can go from one property to the next. And I would like to say, I give thanks to all history that bring forth great memories, great, great memories. Because all of this, what is being presented today, is written in books, and I give thanks and glorify for bringing such remembrance. Happy celebration, my Lord. The Zero is very, very beautiful. Blessed love.
Honorable Empress Lily, do give thanks and praise.
Yes, Mama Lily. Yes, Mama Lily, you help us to see it through your eyes, From the eye of how you describe it, you give I and I a vivid vision of what it must look like.
Right. At the first Zoom that, our eyes and we meditation, and that bound, where you say that I can speak and you can visually see it in your heavens, So we give thanks, Honorable Empress Maisie, for being our eyes and ears in the better land. Rastafari.
Mama Lily.
Floor is open, my Lord and Empress.
Priest Brown, go ahead.
Priest Brown.
I will begin with saying, give thanks to the congregation.
You're singing far away, not like
Come up to
last
your phone, man. Come up to your phone.
Get to the other air plug.
All right. My Lord and Empress.
With that, we are talking about, man.
Give thanks to the gathering of saints.
Rastafari.
In this glorious season of the advent of the revelation of the all in all unto flesh, His Imperial Majesty, King Selassie, Jah,
Rastafari.
Coming from a Seventh-day Adventist platform, grandparents, so the Seventh-day Adventists have a book where them call Rope of the Race, where they that which was one book which some would say prophesying the advent of His Majesty and telling of the biblical connections between David and His Majesty. And I give thanks for the light of the world, who brought us and give us this great light, and give thanks to and I, the children of light, who walk in the light and continue to esteem and uphold and whose duty and take it as their ultimate purpose is to shine the light for generations to come. My Lord and Empress, we are cut it short this way. Do give thanks.
Honorable Priest Brown, always a joy and an upliftment for all your input, my Lord. You always bring an uplifting input. Give thanks, Honorable Priest Brown, my Lord.
Yes, blessed love. I'd like to
I
would like to also share a few, just a little bit also. It says here that after Waziri Yeshimabet transition, that his Ras Makanen was Tafari was housed with his maternal grandmother and his aunt. He was consequently cared for by Fitwari Haile Selassie Abane and raised with the Fitari young son and his cousin Imru Haile Selassie. It says here also that they remained very, very close friends all throughout their lives. That his father took a keen interest in his education and training. Says that he learned to hide his tenacity of spirit and ambition behind diffidence, deference, and gentle grace. Okay, I'm sorry about that. It says that Makanen taught his son to respect learning, especially the modern education seeping into Ethiopia. Duras recognized that the country had to change with the times or fall prey to the imperialism, and he was determined that his son would learn the new law and become one of Ethiopia's agents of modernization. Give thanks for all that. For the learning abilities. He learned from, he had a French teacher, and I'll read that section. There they continued the traditional Ethiopian education that they had begun, to which were added other subjects in the normal school curriculum, including learning French. Their teacher, who also acted as their guardian, was Dr. Vitalia, who Ras Makanen had brought from France for the purpose. Another teacher was an Ethiopian Catholic cleric named Abba Samuel, who belonged to the Catholic missionary of Abba Indrans. So just showing here how important and how, education was key for Ras Makanen, for his son to learn, to move forward, to be the person that he is for I and I to emulate in these times, my Lord and Empress. Blessed.
Majesty blessed. Give thanks. As we say, his character was impeccable and it was forged from a child, So we see the importance of maintaining that upful and integrity mannerism towards your children, even to your grandchildren. Because when you bring up a child in the way, when they get old, they won't depart from it.
Yes, and he loved his grandmother. His grandmother was the one responsible for bringing him up until, because his father, remember, his father was
up and
traveling,
down.
right,
Yeah.
traveling back and forth. So he had to be, looked after.
Yes,
his grandmother,
yes,
was there all the time, making certain, and he loved her with his whole heart.
Rastafari. Any other comments or observations or inputs? If not, we will move on to the next reading, pre-7s.
Blessed love, my Lord and Empress.
My Lord.
The purpose of communion. What is the purpose for the knowledge gain and the liberty I have practiced for a century? What is the purpose for seeking the knowledge of our ancestors and our past? Why is the genuine efforts to educate, uplift, and inform our Rastafari movement, especially the Bobo family, not understood and accepted? In a time when most things are negative, lacking in love, work, and devotion, the EABIC Council of Elders are here to meditate and
mediate.
Pardon me. The EABIC Council of Elders are here to mediate on any situation of conflict and to clarify what is right and not who is right. The Council is here to fulfill its duty as custodians of this mighty and wonderful way of life. There There are none who are perfect and free from sin. I and I do not stand in judgment of others. I and I are here to establish principles and to practice them as a way to become like unto him, Marcus Garvey and King Emmanuel, who were not perfect, but were worthy. The council endeavors to lead by example, one Bobo Ashanti family living in love, brotherhood and sisterhood, guided by the fatherhood of God. Holy Emmanuel, I, Hail Selassie, Jah, Rastafari.
Rastafari.
To be continued. Bless.
Honorable. And if my dear neighbor priest, they where he said the fatherhood of God, also the motherhood of God. You know? So we continue with the epilogue. Majesty bless. On the 23rd of July, the Rastafari family globally pay homage to His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie on his Earth Day, a moment of jubilation and thanksgiving, a day of festivities in honor of the coming into the world of Jah redeeming spirit through the birth of Lichtafari Mekonnen, the savior of this dispensation. He who came to teach us how to save ourselves from the evil that corrupts souls. May Rastafari light continue to shine in this dark world to guide all his people to a brighter future. And Praheli Selassie, Jah, Rastafari, my Lord and Empress. You know, it's a moment of great rejuvenation, and so we should really take it within ourselves. You know, that way there's so my Lord and Empress. Cause we not say we comparing ourselves, but true we know say all the white world and all them establish way how they move and make them look so important. Remember, I tried to tell you, if you take away all the luxury thing from the queen, they will commit suicide because they not look rich, they not feel rich, you know. But we are millionaires, we naturally rich, you know, and it's that richness where we must feel in ourselves and within each other, so that a day like today, how you see them pick up them, I mean, them take it to a next level, you know. And them Benjamin Franklin Day and them all reenact and all these things, you know, that way they, because they see how we venerate and uplift the commemoration and memory of our ancestors, you know, our God and our King. So wherever we find ourselves, we should make our country. This should be a time of great jubilation, you know, of love extending, you know, that we don't find ourselves in congregation with just a lot of ill speaking and finger pointing and righteous self-righteousness. You know, that's how we know, you know, the word of God and the word of Satan, you know, is that the Almighty Jah always come to unite. Him always come to make we feel good about ourselves. You know that way, my lord. When you go and buy dada, him always make you feel so good, so great about your own self. He never thump up him chest and me at the black lights and bow down. No. But when him done, you feel so good about yourself, you couldn't help but love him. Because, you know, only God know the love of God. So, you know, you say, what is the purpose for the knowledge gain and the liberty we practice through the century, my Lord? You know, it's to bring us better people, truly gods and goddesses in the earth. You know, that reincarnation of that divine presence in flesh moving through the earth. You know, that is what we come to manifest. So when we look at that, such a high acclamation, such a high standard, we realize, yes, there's many things we still climbing the ladder. We still climbing Jacob's ladder. We not reach up at top yet where like we can go and like. You know, say it, my lord. Because one thing the ladder teach we is humility. You know, see, yeah. So I don't want to take up too much time talking, but as I say, we should all be feeling this spirit of rejuvenation within ourselves with such, and give thanks for this platform where we could express that one to another, my lord. So the floor is open, my lord and Empress.
Mama Lily.
Blessed love, my Lord and Empress, Prince and Princess. Zamsley, you said it right. Because I live for celebrations. In Ethiopia, the Orthodox Church, they celebrate Gabriel Day, Selassie Day, Mariam Day.
They celebrate everyone they celebrate.
My Lord, celebration, and even on Bobo Hill, when you see celebration, we as empresses, especially if you're gonna free up from 21 days and get a celebration, like you're in heaven, like you're in heaven. I'm Peace Vasavana, no. I'm Peace Brown, no. I'm Peace Earl, no. When celebration come, the truck go to country and get jackfruit and coconut and all the good fruits and all the good vegetables. And we look forward to a gigantic time of 7 nights of Naya Bing, my Lord. And I live every celebration. I relive all my celebrations up on Bobo Hill because even I, as an empress, I never get a many free celebrations.
Okay.
But I will always celebrate with my sisters in house, we call it. And
yes,
that day, we do whole heap of work. You will be early, and prepare ourselves like we want to feel, and it's just glorious. And I give thanks and glory for the time I spend on the hill, and I enact every celebration. I look forward to every celebration, and I give thanks and glorify for this celebration here in Ethiopia. Holy Emmanuel,
Rastafari.
Let's put a celebration, live on.
Yes. Yes, I. Majesty. Why we see people? Empress Miriam, you there?
I'm here, priest. Don't go anywhere.
I get the inspiration to do something unprecedented while people even might gather their thoughts. If you could bless you with a chorus upon this mountain.
All right, priest. No problem, my Lord. Yeah, Rastafari, cutting and clear. Upon this mountain, Rastafari live. Out of his mouth came fire and smoke. I look around him. If I was right, I hear the Rastafari just to be my guide. For every time I feel that a spirit moving in my heart. I pray for every time I feel that a spirit moving in my heart, I pray. Upon this mountain, Rastafari live. Out of his mouth came fire and smoke. I look around him. If I was right, I hear Jarastafari just to be my guide. For every time I feel that a spirit moving in my heart, I pray. For every time I feel that a spirit moving in my heart, I pray on holy Mount Zion, 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 Lord, holy Mount Zion, Zion, Jehovah, Jah.
Rastafari.
My Lord
Majesty,
and
hear me? Majesty, bless Honorable Empress. Give
bless
thanks.
the God. And I have
So,
a word, Honorable Chair.
floor is open, Honorable Empress.
Oh, I give thanks. An out of celebration to each and every one that are present here today upon this meeting. As we are celebrating, we are reasoning, and we are giving thanks to Jah Rastafari. You know, Thursday will be 134 years of our father, Earth Strong. And I'm going back to that day, that beautiful day, on the 23rd of July, when His Majesty came on earth. God bless the womb of his mother that bring him on that fateful day. The day of rejoicing, the day of celebration, the day of so many things happen. Out of 9 children, 8 did not come, but him, that great man, that man of purpose, that man of gratitude, that man of love came. And it was lightning, it was thunder, it was rain falling to show the world, that the Savior has come. And so we give thanks for His Majesty, highly Emperor Haile Selassie was born on the 23rd. And he grew up, and he becomes such a powerful man. And it bestowed upon him kings of kings, lords of lords, conquering lion, the tribe of Judah. 72 nations bow and crown this man. 1930. So we give thanks today. And as we are here celebrating, as the children of God is here celebrating, such a wonderful day. I give thanks for the day, and I give thanks that I grew up and learn about this great man. And I do give thanks that I am a part of him. I'm his daughter, and I give thanks that he never leaves me nor forsake me. And he always be with me. And he's the one that's saving me, keeping me going. Lord, I thank you. Emperor Haile Selassie, I give thanks, Majesty, and give thanks, family, and have a beautiful celebration.
Majesty bless.
Yeah, Rastafari, bless it.
Majesty
My Lord
bless.
and Emperor.
Two things. We all know we say July 23rd, 1892, but I'd like to ask if the priest Rastafari or one of the priests and empress there to give me the Ethiopian equivalent, like the name of the Ethiopian month and the Ethiopian equivalent to July 23rd, 1892. And while they're doing that, I want to share an example of the mindset of His Majesty from a little child. It is said that, on the many trips of Ras Makonnen, because he was Minister of Foreign Affairs, so he was always away for a long period of time. But this particular one, the Ras was away for like 3 months. So when him come in, all the village them here say, the Ras came in last night. So all the villagers line up now to pay tribute to the Ras, give thanks for his safe return and all these things. So Farai, and he wrote this, I think this is in his autobiography. Lichta Farai find himself in the line, but he's saying he's 13 years old and he don't have nothing. So that in his mind contemplating, but the line moving on, the line I get shorter. So he might reach up there and he don't have nothing. When I feel him time now, and then look upon him father, him says only one thing him could have do to welcome him father. Him bend down and kiss him feet to show back the love the patriarch had, the son has for his father. How much are we could express a love like? How much are we could kiss the father foot or kiss the brethren foot to show back that Ethiopian love? That's food for thought, my Lord and Empress. And if I want, can give you the Ethiopian equivalent to July 23rd, 1892, my Lord and Majesty. Floor is open.
Hamle 16, 1885 on the Ethiopian calendar.
Hamle, H-A-M-L-E.
Hamle, yes.
16th.
Yes. 1885.
1880. So that's the Ethiopian equivalent to July 23rd, 1892, my Lord and Empress. Blessed. Floor is open.
To the chair, Majesty.
My Lord.
Yeah, just want to share two folklores that establish the mystique of Haile Selassie I. Now, growing up as Rastafari, we heard these two stories that kind of held our attention. One was that the emperor at some point attended school with Prince Edwards of Britain, who was supposed to be the heir to the throne of King George of Britain at the time. Now, one of the folklores tell you this, that the two of them coming from school, going to catch a bus to wherever they were going, and they were always competing. So Edward said to Haile Selassie I, who can reach the bus first? and him flash off and head to the bus. When him reach up in the bus and sit down, when him look beside him on the inside seat was the emperor already seated, seeing, showing you the mystique of the man, how the man move. Another story goes like this. Again, they were very competitive. So there was and what they call an apple cutting contest, where you throw up the apple and you cut it up in pieces before it falls to the earth. Them say Edwards throw up Fimo and go so bam bam bam, 9 pieces, which was magnificent for any person in that era, for any person. But them say the emperor throw up his own and bam, 13 pieces, 12 fall to the earth and one stand on the point of the sword. Showing that the Lion of Judah stand supreme above the 13 tribes of Israel. Because as we know, it's 13 tribes, not 12. See, because them always leave out the Empress Diana. It's 13 tribes, and the Emperor stand as head of that 13 tribe. Yeah. Just some little stories that show you the mystique of the man and show you how the world knew that this man was special, because they only create folklores around, heroes, martyrs, great people. Rastafari. And to top that off, family, the emperor was a great horseman, and so was Edwards. When I say a great horseman, meaning
Yes,
that
I.
they had proven themselves in different circumstances to be master of their trade, because military ones back in those days had to know how to ride a horse or to ride whatever they were riding, because back then you rode camels, you rode elephants, you rode different animals as you went to war, because as we know, the great brethren that went across the Alps with
Hannibal.
the elephants. Hannibal went across the Alps with the elephants, leading them into war, leading his army into war. See, he did not go with the horses or camels. He went with a herd of elephants. See, so yeah, back then you had to be a master of your craft, and Haile Selassie the first was a master in every area of his development. Because while the normal child would be outside running up and down playing hide and seek and hopscotch and marble and gig and riding skate and all of those things, the emperor was preparing for his role in life. So he was learning to jostle, to sword fight, not just the basic, you know, competing, but that gentleman style of jostling, see, which is a certain poise to it. You have a certain style and poise to that form of sword fighting. See,
Yeah.
the emperor was a master of that. See,
Fencing,
again,
they call it. Fencing.
yes, yes, my lord. See, so as I and I look at the emperor, we can see that he was a child prodigy. See, meaning that he was not just a regular child, even though he was a normal human being. As he said, he will be replaced by the oncoming generation, and what humanity is susceptible to, he is susceptible to. So he made it clear that he was a normal human being, but of a higher caliber, a higher standard. You know, he sought to master whatever he was studying, whatever he was learning. He applied himself to be the best in whatever he was studying. And that is a trait and a character that all of I and I who bear his name should aspire to. to be the best in every capacity where we are required to serve. Majesty bless.
Bless the Lord, my Lord. Floor is open.
Royal Chair.
Honorable praise.
Yes, Royal family, do give thanks to such wonderful earth strong, and the celebration of life, And we look upon it also as a great Mother Day, You know what I mean? When them say Mother's Day is not just one day, This is also that day also, And we see Ethiopia that go through a great famine that moment, So there was a lot of starving cattle and things like that, One of the only fat thing was the hyena who was cleaning up these carcass, So it was a great famine going through Ethiopia at that moment. So the birth of, the King of Kings, there was sound of thunder, lightning, and the showers of rain, So, that first cry that that the babe make, no one ever heard, because it was covered, with thunder, Yes, so, his father was on a journey and there was just a single raindrop, fall drop on him. And he said this is something great at the moment. You know what I mean? Yes, so that moment, you get the title of one to be fair, at that, that moment of birth, Yes, my Lord and Empress, one perfect love.
Blessed love, my Lord and Empress. And a little note here. As we say, all the information that we are giving out and strategies that we are speaking of must be able to be applied to our daily livity, our life. So it's not like a fable or a story. You sit down and tell a story. And I live this. So a reason and I added my moment back to say Emperor Haile Selassie, as each and everyone acknowledge, was born into royalty. Mean to say him had people waiting on him. See, people doing things for him. As a young man, him had them kind of privilege. So when you look at I and I now, who come out of the little, runnings of the ancestors and thing went through, we are not born into that kind of a royalty. So now, this is why we get thanks for the Black Christ, Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, who come and show us royalty in the dust. See, that's why we could have carry ourselves royally, say we are millionaires, and we might have nothing in our pocket, and yet still if we have a cracker, we'll break it and share it with the brethren. So, you see the heights of royalty, what the Father, coming and the dust come show we, same way as the Father who rise in Ethiopia in all the riches and splendor of the courts, and to be a son of a nobleman, them kind of privileges. And Jah come and show we down in the dust down here, right here how we carry it amongst ourselves. That kind of royalty, my Lord, Majesty bless, General. So, we live them kind of a heights within ourselves. So it's an important thing to see the Trinity working for I and I. You see it, my Lord and Empress? Blessed love. Floor is open.
And I just said that honorable priest to the tier, just
yes,
to add to it, to establish how wealthy we are. It's not coming from the family accumulation of wealth. It is coming from the Almighty Creator. Because, as I and I, Father King Emmanuel, teach I and I, that I and I father is money mint and Bible owner. I'll repeat that. Money mint, meaning say the mines, the Solomon mines that produce gold, seeing, and the creator of the book of life, seeing, I and I father own those, seeing, which makes him the most wealthiest person in creation, seeing, and as his children, we inherit that legacy, seeing. So that's why the man said, don't look at your humble state as being the quality of who you are. Seeing, look at where you are coming from, who you are affixed to. See. Because if we listen to what the narrative said, even though we are what we see of the emperor as a big man was not how it was when his mother was giving birth to him. Because you hear the description of the house. It was a mud hut, a wackle and daub hut. It was not a palace. It was never described that the emperor was born in a palace. See, he was born in a humble setting, but he grew beyond that humble setting to create that palace living. See, while he was there, the emperor Menelik, he was living in a palace as the emperor and as the king of kings of that moment. See, Haile Selassie evolved into that capacity. See, because as again, the narrative tell you that he rose to the throne through his grandmother's lineage. Through his grandmother's lineage. See, yeah, he was not a direct. He was not directly in line. He was not 1, 2, or 3 in line for the throne, but through his grandmother, who was part of that divine family, part of that family coming through the line of Solomon, and Sheba, he ascended the throne. Majesty bless.
My Lord, give thanks. The floor is open, my Lord and Empress.
Blessed love. His grandmother's name was Tananya Walk. He named his first daughter with Empress Menen after his grandmother Rasmakanen's mother. And also it is said that when he got the governorship in Sedamona, which is the south part of Ethiopia, right next to Shashamani, Hawassa is his model city. And Wanda Genet, he have a palace in Wanda Genet with hot springs where we go and wash our locks. And his grandmother on his mother's side, Zaro Ishemabet, mother, came and was his household keeper. And he said he enjoyed very good relationships in Sedamona, which is Hawassa, and it is the capital of the South because all of the government buildings is in Hawassa. And it's a very beautiful, clean place. And His Majesty statue is also in Hawassa. I love to go to Hawassa. Blessed love, my Lord.
Majesty bless,
And
Honorable Empress.
And you see that grandmother, that grandmother that Mama Lily is speaking about is the link to the Mohammed lineage, to the Muslim origin.
Romo.
Yes, which is the link to the Muslim side of their family. See, if you listen to the name of Yashima Bet, it's Yashima Bet Ali. And we all know that the name Ali comes from from Muhammad, that lineage there. Blessed Lord.
Yes.
My Lord and Empress, give thanks. Yes, my Lord and Empress. Why, yes, some ones and ones, kind of quiet,
again, until one's decide to open up and speak, there's no silence in celebration, you know. We're supposed to be either
Natural. Natural.
singing, shouting, you know, giving eyes in all form. You know,
Yes,
see.
man. It's a natural. But you had to feel it in yourself. You had to have a, you know, remember a long time when you was a little youth. Well, when I was a little youth, you see Christmas, oh my Lord, I was the best. Yeah, I was the bestest time as a little youth. So you see all 3 and 4 days before Christmas, man, you know how excited man is, my Lord and Empress. Oh, yeah, I wonder what toy you gonna get on. Mama them making cake and so we had to have that sense of celebration mode in ourselves too, my Lord. You know. And I say it. So it's more than just sharing information. It's hearing the joy and jubilation in all our voice. Say, yeah man, celebration will come up, And I say, well, you get a new robe feet,
To the
First time
chair.
in 2 years, I get a new robe. So give thanks. You know how long we want a robe for build? 2 years now. I get it next slide, then I'll send a picture in for me. So I get well excited. You see it? Yes, Empress.
That's what I talk about,
Yes,
Krista.
yes, my Lord.
What I'm talking about.
Give
What, Sister Miriam?
give thanks, Sister Lily. Give thanks for your contribution. Thanks, Priest, and you make it sound so joyful and you know, come back to the days,
Oh, you mean,
of
man?
celebration upon the
Let me
hill,
tell you.
man.
We don't
July,
forget. Yeah, we don't forget. A big thing. We are talking.
big thing, man. July 23rd
Yes,
and
sir.
Christmas. They are the two biggest celebration.
Yes,
The
I.
celebration that we look forward for. We happy when July coming in and
Yeah,
everybody
man.
start to get up their material
You
and
see?
poor daddy pack with robes. All when
It's
celebration night, him a sew robes
it was
sometime.
so.
Yeah,
Yes,
and we
I.
look forward to put on our new robes and slanders and look the brightest and the beautifulest. And we are
Yes,
down there from
man.
3 o'clock and kitchen a run and visitor coming in.
All right.
All sort of excitement. But the happiest
Yes.
thing is that I always free. I always get 23rd of July. I don't
Okay,
remember
okay.
not participating in the 23rd or Christmas.
Nice.
So it's a good feeling, priest. And it
Yes,
when the
man.
day it bring a calm, it can see an excitement because within the moment, the afternoon being is gonna roar,
Sure.
chanting and singing and wine
Yeah.
drinking and food eating and
Yes,
laughing and talking,
fellowshipping. Yes,
greeting
I. Yeah.
everyone, greeting and meeting those who not see for a long time. We see them coming in, we happy, we greet them. Oh, those were the days.
No angry
Those
words.
were the days.
No
And those
angry
were the
words.
yeah, and those are the days that I look on and keeping me going.
Yes,
The
Empress.
great Naya Bingi, and the great celebration, my Lord. God is good all the
Yes.
time. And
Rastafari.
blessed love.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one sad vibe in this whole process of jubilation is that we are not able to translate that to the younger generation. The younger generation only hear us speak of these things, but they have not felt the same energy because we have not been able to reduplicate it for them. Because in reality, Rasmus should be geared towards the younger generation. I and I have lived the fullness of it, but the upcoming generation, they don't know of this. So part of I and I responsibility should be to create Rasmus in our way that it is impactful to the young generation. Now,
Rastafari.
what do we mean by that? How do we do that? Let's answer some questions along with this whole thing.
Yeah,
How do
man.
we do? How do we do that? Because I hear the joy coming out of the eye them. I hear the joy coming out of Mama Lily. I hear the joy coming out of Mama Maisie. I hear the joy coming out of the eye and the priest. And one can naturally hear the joy out of I. See? So we are joyful in this moment. How do we translate this into a reality for the next generation? Because testimonials won't do it. Okay? Just teaching and them learning history will not do it. Remember, these are a generation that have come up in a different age, in a technological age, in an age of information. So information is not something very impressive to them as how it was to I and I. The joy we get out of learning is just a natural element for them. How do we transfer this internal joy, this internal feeling that we have every 23rd of July, see, every 7th of January, every 2nd of November, see, every 25th of May? How do we
Well,
immortalize this in their mind?
I could share a baby step. Someone going to say something? Priest?
Yes,
I
Chair, but
want
I was waiting on you.
go on, Honorable Priest. I wait on the eye.
Yes, as the honorable priest said, how do we, convey this to the younger generation? But at that time, we never have a 5G, thing right now, And sometimes, this is even bigger than us because this 5G thing coming like a microwave where fry these younger generation brain that, you find that their interest is not on what I and I did even interested in. You see, so sometimes, this is even out of our hand, if even convey this unto them. Because there is something bigger right now is what is against I and I. This 5G microwave thing, they have fried them brain to dumb down all of them, make them come like say something wrong with them. Everyone is just dumb down. So if you know why the and I are here speaking this now and it seem like we are living in the past. You see? Yes, And I heard another thing like Menelik the first, right? He was the 99, emperor, So this was when you say the emperor is coming from Solomon, or yes, from Sheba there, Solomon and Sheba. It is just like the songless story, But the reality, Menelik the first is the 99 emperor. So there were many emperors before even, Solomon and Sheba. And Bill McNeid, they asked the emperor something pertaining to that. And him, the answer, that this is only a story, Yes. So, go and leave the floor free, one perfect love.
My Lord. You
Well,
thank for
Honorable
that
Priest,
word already.
yeah, but hold on, but you open up a door. You open up a door right there. So go ahead, Honorable Chair, and then I will come, because there's a door open up
Well,
right there.
I was saying I have a baby step in the right direction and to show you how, the God in our flesh is moving through it. Our young brethren called me when it was Sabbath day. Person say, Priest, me give thanks that you answer the phone on the Sabbath day. I say, well, yeah, me not take a vow of silence. So I talk to people. So if I can't talk to a man way over yonder. So him is one of the man them. It's through him that priest Butch leave the hill Wednesday evening, and pass away Thursday evening. If it wasn't for he, priest Butch would have passed right there on the hill. He was the man who went and see him and said, "But I them a deal with I them forget this man, you know." He said them had to wrap him up in some sheet. I didn't want to go into that. And the ambulance take him up there, revive him. He was also the man who wrapped Honorable Prophet Ikichi Turban when he was deceased. And he's a younger fella named Prophet Job. You might know him, Priest 7. And he called me and he said, "Priest, you know, me not like what me see going on, you know. And you know what I going to start to praise? Right now, you know what my mission on earth? Hungry be fed, naked clothed, sick nourished, AIDS protected, infants cared for. Anyone who are here sick and think, my Lord, may I go visit them and may I go minister unto them. And, you know, so it's a baby step in the right direction because he's a younger man than me. I believe him younger than even Priest Sevens. And to have such a meditation moving through me, telling say, my Lord, me commend you on that. And anytime you move through and you need figure you need a strength, whatever, call me, whatever I can do, I will. So, you know, as much as we see how the youths they're moving, just still have him tools and fuse where him pick, you know, handful of corn upon the mountain. So it's a baby step in the right direction. My Lord and Empress, bless.
Yes, Majesty. Going forward to what priest Earl said, to bring clarity, because we have to give clarity. We're streaming, so we want to make sure it's the proper information going out to the world. As students of history and knowledge, remember saying, the throne of the king was developed under Saul, but it was concretized. It was set in place through David. Solomon is David's son. So it don't go too far back from Solomon, my lord. See? Because if you remember now, you know, it is David throne, you know, that we are speaking of. And Solomon is David's son. So there is not 99, you know, when it comes to Menelik. Again, those things are things that we have to go into history and substantiate before we really share it with the world. You know, see? And then we have to think and look back on history to validate statements. Because when we hear them statements, then now our mind's supposed to take us forward now into history to say, but then Saul, through Saul, the father set up the kingship, and then the first reigning king was David. So the throne became known as David's throne. And then Solomon was David's son, who became King Solomon, and is the queen that came and visited him, who bore Menelik, was Sheba, who became known as the queen to the king Solomon. So, you know, saying that to say, yeah, there would not be 99 in between there so, of kings. And we must remember now, Emperor Haile Selassie I is the 225th ascendant to that throne. Majesty bless.
My Lord, Majesty. Floor is open.
To the chair. So priest, how does Ori fit into the whole thing?
Family
How does
tree. Ori, she's asking. Ori, the 35th or 36th grandson of Noah. That is the emperor tracing his lineage back. He is the only person during his time that was able to trace his lineage to that era, the era of Noah, the 35th or 36th grandson of Noah, who is Ori. See, so that is in tracing his family tree. See, those are not kings, those are just family lines. Make sense?
Yes, I give
Empress?
thanks. Give thanks, give thanks.
Floor is open, my Lord.
Praise
Blessed love and
Rastavana, my
blessed
Lord. Praise Rastavana, my
majesty.
Lord.
Blessed love, Empress Mama Lily.
Melchizedek, King of Salem, who made Abraham from the slaughter of the kings. Would you put Melchizedek?
Yeah, yes, Mama. What's the question?
That's the question. Where would you place Melchizedek, King of Salem?
As the King of Salem?
Yes.
She probably talking on a historical point of view.
Yeah, but it's not the throne of David. You understand? We're talking about the throne of David.
Yeah.
There were many kings, you know. Remember Abraham was coming from the slaughter of kings, you know. So
Yes.
there were many kings. So there were many thrones. But we are speaking directly now. It's the throne of David that became the throne of God, not the throne of, you know, any of the many kings that existed before that.
Yeah, David is the son of Jesse.
Right.
This is the son of Obed, which is the son of Ruth and Naomi, you know, cousin Boaz. No?
Right. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yes, let me give thanks and praises. Yes, and Shale Selassie is Ras Makanen, yes, great grandfather. And Menelik II was Shale Selassie son also. And I usually say that Menelik II got the throne and Nanya Walk, his sister, got the lineage to bring forth, you know, the Godhead. To Ras Makanen, bring forth and praise Selassie, which is the line of David. And I would like to also to say that this period in the Bobo Shanti culture is a very, very holy time because we have the 23rd of July, then we have Emancipation Day, which is the 7th, which is the 1st of August. Then we have the great prophet, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, on the 17th of August. And we will have 21 nights of Nyabingi straight through. I tell you, my Lord, it's glorious if you could catch that 21 days and nights of Nyabingi going through, you know, up on Bobo Hill. That was a glorious time. I think in the reign of King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, when he establishes those 3 celebrations, and we'll have Nyabingi back to back, fast and service, you know, morning, noon, and night, and we're just glorious, you know. The kingdom of God, Melchizedek order that he came, you know, and established Ethiopian embassy, you know. I only could tell it like how I live it, you know, but I wish one could feel the glory, you know, that King Emmanuel come and taught us that celebrations, you know, is high days, you know, holy days, like the Sabbath day, you know, and I give thanks and glorify for this time of 21 nights of Nyabingi going through, you know. Because before I came to Ethiopia in 2014 and 2015, you know, because I know the situations in Ethiopia that I wasn't going to get no celebration, no service really, that I went and fill up my cup those 2 years, you know. And that is what's sustaining me right now. And I give thanks and praises, you know, for 2014, 2015, because after that, the Congress start, you know, people start going all over the world to teach the gospel. That's how I would put it. So I give thanks and glorify for this glorious, glorious, glorious time of celebration and peace. I actually said it, like how people upon Erasmus, like you say, peace, not Christmas, Rasmus. You know, it's a glorious time, you know, if you can feel it spiritually, you know, it's like in Zion, heaven, on earth. If we could put ourselves with those. So I give thanks and glorify for this time, and I feel it, my Lord. I feel it, spiritually.
Yeah.
I give thanks and glorify.
Yes,
God. Blessed love.
Who knows it, you feel it, knows it, So the floor is open, my Lord and
To the chair,
Empress.
my lord. To the chair.
Rasta.
Another historical moment that we need to add to the calendar, because remember now, the gospel did not end with 66 books or 85 books. The gospel is a continuous recording of I and I liberty. And one of the very important moments in I and I story, especially the Pan-African high story, is the 31st of July. Can anyone tell I what happened on the 31st of July?
Well, from my recollection and research, I have a culture where I say the 31st of July, no black man and black woman or child did sleep that night, because the word did come down the pike, say the 1st of August, the shekels are going to come off our feet. And every 1st of August in Trinidad, they just have the reenactment of the day, 1834. Because I don't know for Jamaica, because I see on social media, priest, Christopher Morant, gain a culture, say, April, he's telling up which part they signed the document, 1834. And he said that day in 1834, it had a hearse, and the hearse had all the shekels and chains what they take off how we put and it was dragging in the back, and it just drive wrong and wrong the signal it done say be done, and call it some bells. Yeah, because what I say I don't know Jamaica, because in Trinidad 6:30 in the morning, every of August 1st, they does actually do a reenactment, because it was documented. So it have man like Kojo, and I forget other people name, who was documented that day. So they just reenact. And in reality of that day, when they came out, they say 4 more years. When the man and woman then come out and figure say I that, because they all had a flambeau procession, they just do all that reenactment in Trinidad to the place, the treasury right on Independence Square there. So, and they had when the people then figure say I that, they had the governor come and say 4 more years, and the people then revolt, and it's enough bloodshed on that 1st of August 1834, right there on Independence Square in Trinidad. So, and because they say they wanted to give me 4 more years in the judgment, even though it ended up like that. One of the reenactments of the play that day, a woman, I forget she name, she show we say she brings children, and the 7th one she hide the belly. And when it was time to deliver, I remember I said this is documented, so it's real. So when it was time to deliver, she went by herself down by the river and bring the youth. And as the youth come, she get her stone and mash up him head. Because she say she prefer him dead than to come live where she live right now. Every time I look at that day, they so August, so it's when I listen, when I look go there, and tears come on my eye. Because as I show you, this is not no fantasy or no folklore. This is what really happened. My Lord and Empress. Blessed.
Right. Priest, that show you what pain can do, That show you what pain can do to a person, that a person would do that.
Yes,
that is when she look at her life and the life of who brought her into the world, living as slaves. That is what she took away from all of that, that agony, that suffering. That is better that are you dead than live that life as a slave, Remember the song, sorry, Empress Trisha, soon let you go. But remember the song, that says, before I live as a slave, I be buried in my grave and go
Yeah,
home to my God and be
yeah.
free. That was how they were thinking for true.
It's some dread. I when say we were prisoners of war in this
Yeah,
judgment.
terrible, Empress Trisha.
I was saying July 31st, 1911 was the marriage day of the emperor and the empress.
Okay, look at that. Rastafari. Take it
Anybody,
with next level day.
anyone else have any sound towards the 31st of July? Well, what the 31st of July was as well was the first Woman Pan African Congress, the first gathering of the
62.
warrior queen. What? Yes, in 1962. See,
All right. Yeah.
ahead
Yeah.
of the
Oh,
organization
yeah.
of
Yeah.
yes, ahead of it, ahead of African Liberation Day.
Yes,
See, the woman saw the vision and manifested it before I and I, the Godheads.
Rastafari.
See, it's a very important moment that has been shown, but in the Pan African world, it is called the Woman's Liberation Day. So it's the Woman's Day in the Pan African world. And I think it
Okay.
is worthy
Yeah.
of reaching the calendar.
Yes, because
Rastafari.
it's black solidarity across the board, my lad. Yeah.
Yes, I am
Trisha,
correcting.
Beloved,
Empress Miriam, you hear that? We have to celebrate that day. We have to put that on the Liberation Day calendar.
Rastafari.
July
Yes,
31st.
Yeah. So you see it?
Yeah.
We never too old to learn, We never too old to learn. Rastafari.
And we have the right to create our moments in history.
My Lord.
To immortalize them and to celebrate them.
Yeah.
We are not restricted to just what exists before us. See? And that is part of how we make this a reality for the younger generation. By
My Lord.
current moments that are closer to their time period and not just moments. You understand?
Yeah.
We have that right, family. We have the right to create institutions. We have the right to develop our liberty, to add to our liberty, to amend our liberty, to make our liberty reflect how we as a collective people feel and what we as a collective people see as a very important time in our life. See?
In our life. Yes,
Yes, thing of
Yes.
we are thinking that is only what Haile Selassie said, and the moments that they depicted are special. It takes away the God essence of us, and to say, to even look at life to say that we as a people, see, don't have no control over this moment in time. See, whether it is with the element of the 5G in place, or is it with the element of war and the different kind of leadership that is taking place, whether it is with the element of our numbers dwindling, to not see our power is to negate what we always say. If we are gods and goddesses, it's not a title, it's who we are. And if we are the gods and the goddesses of the earth, there is a power that goes with that. That is how you prove who you are. Just like how you know the disciples of Christ by the love that they permeate, that them express, that you feel when you come around them. It's the same way. If we are gods and goddesses of the earth, we have a power that we can utilize to our protection, our development, our being. We minimize ourselves in always giving the power to Babylon to say that they are in control. because they control technology, control news media, control. Then where is our God self? What energy do we possess within our God selves that makes us special, makes us different? That power that we can use to neutralize the negative, the evil that faces us. When we step out of our house every day and we face whether it is police, and I'm not just going to say police because not every police wicked either. I'm not going to follow that trend of thinking. Like, no, there's a reason for police in the world.
Most definitely.
They are supposed to, put it that way then. They are supposed to keep the peace and keep and maintain the law. See, so I'm not going to say police is just wicked and evil. There's a purpose for them. They are those that are evil and wicked. We know that. But when we face them, and we face the hobby man, not the man who performing voodoo now and that, we're talking about the hobby man, the samphire man, the con man, the man that is using his power for evil and not good. When we step out and we face those iniquity workers, what power do we have as gods and goddesses? If we have no power over that, then what makes us God and goddesses? What is it that we are declaring when we say these things? We say we are gods of the earth. When we buck up one another and we say, blessed love God, what do we mean? We have to start to really look at these things, family, and factualize them so we can pass them on to the next generation in a real way and not in a little folk tale, hocus pocus and Nancy story type of way. Because if it is a truth that we profess, then there is a power behind that truth. Blessed Majesty.
Majesty bless, my Lord. Floor is open, my Lord and Empress.
Bless love.
Blessed love, Honorable Empress Nicole,
Yes.
original first secretary of the Council. Blessed love.
Bless love, my Lord. Holy Empress Menonite, Celestia, Jah, Rastafari. Yeah, I'm just touching on some of the things that I've heard being said. And I give thanks for the reasoning. It's always good to listen to the elders and, just hear some stories and stuff like that. Just rejoice, But I think it was Peter who was, things that saying basically I stand to be corrected, but saying basically like, those things pass for, us even reaching out and gathering like youths them and people and like, because of how the 5G thing is in now. But, I I see it a little differently, whereas it was times where, we had enough youths them around, youths them who's bald-head, youths them who weren't really a part of the church, but who actually come and try to assist, Rastafari share the light. We shine a light so serious and so bright. Like we have the power, to really reach bald-head youths, to reach a bad man, them to reach enough, but it's really the unity would be really lacking, And I feel like it's the unity, and I feel like it's our placement of the woman, and enough man will touch onto a lot of things in perspective of the woman, like, like to say, whereas, it was things set in place to glorify her, things set in place to show her liberation, and there's a lot of things throughout history we finding now and coming out of the vaults now that, she plays such a serious role, in the universe. So it's like when we really can put that into play, into action and like really give her rightful place in the Congress within itself, because like I just going through things, my personal experience and really having like a heart for the kingdom, and really wanting to do things for the youth STEM and to like build. But at the same time, you have so much ideas and you explore so much things and you getting the response from the children and the youth STEM, but you don't have the backing of your brothers, It's because there's always this little culture or this back of the mind, back set thinking, whereas the woman is always lesser than, so she don't really have the authority to deal with certain things. Whereas, like someone stated earlier, you know, because His Majesty was a statesman, he made a lot of trips out of Ethiopia. And if we look on, you know, the history of Empress Menen and who she is, we'll notice that she played a very relevant part in the churches, you know, and she was active in her duties to the churches as a woman. So it is be kind of like listening to us saying certain things and like we finding the solutions, but you know, it's like when the solutions really gonna get put in place and like you know, even as the council of elders, you know, for once to really have the authority and make that move, the send letters and things down to the other churches, you know, and like to give a oneness, a unity on how we our perspectives, our new perspectives are becoming upon, because we learning as we grow and we building on the foundation. But I feel like a lot of people still left behind because even though we come together and reason in the council of elders and the groups and with the Women's Freedom Liberation League, there's still a lot of persons who ain't really getting the same upliftment, getting the same new vibration, getting the same new story, you know, that we transforming now, we growing into our higher self, because a lot of things was held from us to hold us in slavery and to keep us stagnant and to keep us divided, you know. And the key for me, looking at everything and growing in this and going through the trials and the tribulations, being up at points and in the joyful time, like I listen to one talk with the celebration. And for me, growing up as a child, I had that experience where it was some joyful time with the celebration and you're looking forward to the celebration. You know, I try to bring that light back as a woman when I come forward to the camp. And me and my sisters would make comments and stuff for the children dressing alike to give them that same light. You get gifts on Christmas for them, new turbans, new falls, new dresses, other little gadgets that we know they like as youths them, you know, as long as it was in the law of Black supremacy, you know. We still teach them certain things and still celebrate them at the same time. And it was like a joy. But then we at the end of the day, it's like as women, we have the key, we have the answer, but we don't really get that back end on the grounds from our brothers, you know. So within every era and with every celebration and every time that we come into new heights in ourselves, it's time for us to really like put these things in place and in writing and, you know, create new scripts in our time, you know, writings and things from the council and from the leading goddesses, you know, to the new heights, you know, and the new foundation we find, because that's something where I feel like everybody can really come to this unity with themselves and really acknowledging the Black woman as the mother, you know, and as the goddess. And as the one she's the one who is able to make the change, because she's the one who's taking care of the children. You know, the daddy have the strength, and it's a balance still, but he have the strength. But it's the woman who really is running the household, who really is, you know, set things in place, you know. Even looking at the birth of His Majesty, you know, I still always reflect on Yashimabet and her sacrifice, you know, and that's throughout history and throughout time. You can see the Black woman of sacrifice. You're saying just like Empress Menen sacrifice in the ground, that's a big, huge sacrifice. As a spiritual, as a high level sacrifice, a lot of people don't even consider, but this is the weight that the Black woman has been carrying on her shoulder and on her back and in her wombs for so long, you know. So that's just my piece, my say to God. Bless and love.
Majesty bless, Honorable Empress. I think I did mistake you for our next Empress. But give
Yeah.
thanks for
Yeah,
your
man.
contribution.
Bless
I would like to
I would like to respond.
Yeah, before you respond, Empress, do you associate with the Women's Freedom Liberation League?
Bless and love, yes, I do.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Well, you know that these are things where them can work out and always have the so always have our open air because we are working hand in hand. The work is great to be done, you know, and we are doing the best that we can with what we have.
Well, I just
If thanks,
I
Empress.
guess giving an opinion to, like, you know, even though the work's being
Yes.
everyone is other people who work ain't really being reached, you know. It's a mindset
Yes.
coming into us gods and goddesses as we grow in this light that we come into, that once it passed down from foundation, it's more, you know, as you could more people will grasp it, you know, even the people that we with our little voice mightn't be able to move, but once it coming down from that authority, then more people will grasp and cling to it, you know. So I just saying that's
Yes,
just
Empress.
to really send down these information same way, you know, as we talk and as we celebrate in this time, everything is about growth. And just that we could do better, Prophet I and myself in this time, you know.
Correct. Give thanks, Honorable. Empress
To the,
Trisha.
to the chair.
Go
Yeah,
ahead, priest.
Empress Trisha. I think she want to talk. Go ahead,
Go
Empress
ahead, priest.
Trisha.
Go ahead, priest. Let's say what you have to say, because
All right. Go ahead, Honorable Priest.
Yes, Majesty. Two things. You know, Royal Empress, give thanks for the high contribution. You know, yeah, it's a conscious meditation and a very important input. Now, the Council of Elders are the custodians of the EABIC Livity. Now, we have this thing. It's a fixation that we have with 10 miles Bull Bay. And we understand it. Don't misunderstand my statement. But we all carry that sentiment for Bubba Hill because it's Bubba Hill. You know, where our father sat and he ministered from. Now, several things took place before our father's, transition. I won't get into all of that right now, but I'm just saying to say that the duty of preserving the liberty and to developing the liberty falls to the senior members of the liberty. Those who were there and walked and lived with the man over a period of time, who were given the mandate to carry on this thing. The problem that we're finding is that ones are not living up to their duty, and ones are putting the responsibility on a set of ones that have come lately into the trod. There is only a very small number of senior members on the camp. And this is no disrespect to the camp. We were just dealing with facts and reality right here. You know, majority of the senior elders are global, and rightfully so, because it's an international Congress. We keep on making the Congress coming like it only exists on 10 miles Bull Bay. It's an international Congress where senior members who work with the man are in Trinidad, Bahamas, Virgin Islands, United States, Africa, and other places. The duty now falls to those senior members to keep in communication, to keep in collaboration, so that we can mandate the development of the Congress to do just what the Empress is saying. So the man said, put the Empress them up front. Are we truly putting the Empress them up front? Or is it just a tokenism? And is the Empresses ready to be up front? These are realities that we have to deal with. Is I Empresses equipped with the knowledge and the tools needed to lead this charge at this moment? And is the senior elder brethren, do we possess the humility to follow their lead and to strengthen what they see as the primary focus or the primary aspects needed right now? These are some of the serious reasoning that we need to have. You know, the other day there was a conference hosted by Bobo Hill, and I am yet to see what came out of that conference. I'm yet to see any resolutions being shared and established, any development going forward coming out of that reasoning. What we lack is leadership, family, across the spectrum of the Pan-African liberty. We lack proper leadership. We see it rising up now on the continent. We see great leaders are once again coming up in Africa. And I must say, and I will end with this, I must say, yesterday I was observing a post from Mahama, the president of Ghana, and I am pleasantly pleased with his persona, his action, you know, and all that he's portraying at the moment. Because wherein most leaders of Africa want to sit in the seat forever, and until them dead, you have to pry,
Beat
the
them out.
mantle, pry the mantle out of them cold dead hands to pass it on to somebody else. Mahama said that he was put in office for a term. He was privileged to gain a second term, and he is not looking for a third term. What he's looking for in this second term is to fulfill the promises he made to his constituents. That's a magnanimous talk that I've never heard from any leader around the world. Okay? Then we see General Captain Traore. When his tenure was over from being that transitional army government, and it was to transition into the private government now, the normal government. And he was handing over. It was the population of Burkina Faso that told him that they did not want him to give up his position, that they wanted him to remain because the work he was doing, they were seeing benefits from it, benefits that they have not seen since independence. So it was the people who asked him to stay on and to extend his tenure. And we can go on and we can look at Mali, we can look at Niger, we can look at Senegal and see the kind of development that is going on in their politics and see that these are a different breed of leaders. Among us of the Congress, which is a government family, the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress is a government, while the church is the church. The divine salvation aspect is the church. Seeing, we are a theocratic government, meaning that our government is led by spiritually centered individuals. But nonetheless, we are a government. I need to see the same kind of changes taking place in our ranks, where the progressive minds, the minds that are spiritually centered, but governmentally advanced, coming up front to establish what the Empress just professed a while ago. Seeing, making sure that the Empress's voice are primary at this point of our tradition. One, they are the first teachers of our children. They are the ones that are hearing what our youths are saying, and they are able to translate it to I and I in a more practical way. Because I and I are more on the front line. The priests, the warriors, the saints, the apostles, we are more on the front line dealing with a lot of things. The empresses have had a little more time to interact with the youths then and to understand their needs and requirements more than we do. And I will end with this. We're having a service, a celebration. It's a 6-hour service. That is not for the youth. That is not for the youth. Yes, we're going to bring the youth in and we're drop asleep and only when the music is chanting and we're doing some chorus will that youth find joy in the moment. It is I and I. When I say I and I, the Empress and I and I, the brethren, to come together and fashion a moment for the youths that is geared to the youths, to the different age groups of youths among us. We have to start ministering to their needs and their requirements as well, or we will not gain forward their attention and their trust. And these are factual things that we have to take into account if we are to preserve this great liberty. This is one of the greatest liberty coming out of the Western Hemisphere and out of the 20th century. The Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress and the priesthood, the Melchizedek priesthood order. Because it's the only black fraternity of priests in the Western Hemisphere. Every other priest is assigned to some external thing that is not I and I. See, because Christianity is not I and I. The Muslim or the Islamic thing is not I and I. I and I is Judah. And this is the only liberty, see, the Melchizedek priesthood order that ascribes to the Lion of Judah. My Lord,
Yes,
to whom much
Royal
is
Chair.
required. Blessed Lord.
My Lord.
Yes, Royal Chair. One perfect.
Go ahead, priest.
Don't forget me, please. Please don't forget me. I really wanted to
All right.
answer.
Yeah, man.
All
Let
right.
Empress.
Yeah,
Empress.
Honorable Empress Trisha, go ahead.
Yeah, man. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, blessed love, my Lord and Empress, and give thanks, Empress Nicole, for, your great outlook on things. I would like to first begin by saying, His Majesty says there is no power or authority without responsibility, and he who accepts the one cannot escape or evade the other. Now, putting that into reality, we seem there's a culture within, and the priest said it a minute ago, where we feel like we must gather at this one specific space, and only when we gather at that space are we doing the works. Give thanks first and foremost to Mama Lilia and to Mama Miriam, royal leading empresses, and to all leading empresses who came before before I and I. Because your courage and your strength and your devotion to the Women Freedom Liberation League is commendable for taking it forward and always reminding I and I that we have a meeting, we need to do this, we need to do that. And leaving it to the younger ones to brainstorm the ideas, come up with the solutions and so forth as it pertains to the league, so that the league can be strong and can do what it really needs to do. Like the priest said, are the empresses ready? We need the only ones that can determine that is the empresses. The empresses have to take the responsibility of the league very serious. What is the league? What does the league mean to them? How do they move forward? Because we are the ones who have to make certain that things are in place for the youths. Just like the priest said, if you're having a service and it's a 6-hour service, what do you do with the youths who are there? Do you lead them sit there, be irritable, be sleeping, be XYZ, or do you put them like in a Jerusalem schoolroom for their age group, while a sister or sisterins, minister to them, teach them, and so forth? If we can't do like other people, then what? Then, we know how that saying goes. We only have most of us, not all of us, only have online because we are in different spaces. We are four winds of the earth. And the only way that we can come together is online. The league provides every bi-weekly online platform for empresses to come and voice their concerns, anything that is going on, anything that we need to do. And we try our best to at least bring forward programs such as these types of programs to the members who do show up, so that we can have an interactive conversation, interactive learning within the empresses. Changing our mindset as to how things were done, how things are being done, and how things should be done is what we need to be focusing on. Changing our mindset so that we can grow The brothers don't need, and the brotherhood doesn't need to necessarily tell the sisterhood how to govern their affairs. We as empresses need to govern our affairs. And when we begin to shine, the brotherhood would see the sisterhood shining and would be more than welcome to come forward and help I and I work hand in hand with I and I so that we can move this Congress further ahead than where it is right now. We should not wait to be up front. We have to put ourselves up front and not in a boastful way, or, I give thanks for this Council of Elders, because in this Council of Elders, I've learned that we can come here and we can voice our concerns, and we would not be shied away. We would not be looked down upon. We would not be chastised. If there is correction to be made, the correction will be made. And if there is advancement or knowledge to be gained, we will get knowledge, from the brothers on the Council of Elders. And those of us who are members of the council as well as the league, we understand that. We understand that because we're in both spaces, but it is the responsibility of the sisters, of the sisterhood, to come together so that we can solve problems and differences. It doesn't matter whether I'm in the Virgin Islands and someone is in the Bahamas and the other person is in Trinidad, and I don't like how this person speaks and this person this. We all have special talents that we bring to the table. Mama Miriam knows every hymn and chorus, and we can learn from her. Mama Lily may have a wealth of information about Ethiopia and what's going on in Ethiopia, along with all the choruses and so forth, and we can learn from her. We have other sisters who know the governmental work. We have ones who know the churchical realm. So we just need to come together so that it's like Chris Imsley always say, what God has told me, he necessarily have not told you, and what he have told you, he have not told me. But if we come together and we tell each other, we would hear the voice of God. But if until that begins to happen, then we would always be in slack. We would always have people telling us we should do this. We should move left when we know we should go straight. We should move right when we know we should stay the course. We know that there are things that we need to do as empresses, of the league, and stop looking down at each other, whether one wear a fall or one wear a turban or one, wear, there are things that we don't need to be fight. There's too many similarities than differences.
Rastafari.
Too many. And until we recognize that and understand that, yes, we will always have the naysayers. We will always have those. Ones may be living in Bahamas or Trinidad on a, what would I call it, a compound, right? But doesn't mean that you don't have a voice, doesn't mean that you cannot think for yourself, doesn't mean that you can't come forward with your sisters and have a conversation so that we can all have an understanding and we can guide each other the correct way. Like I said before, and I'll finish here, the sisters have a responsibility. The sisters have to be willing to take up their responsibility to help foster the growth of the league, of the sisterhood, and of the Congress. My Lord and Empress, blessed love.
My Lord and Empress, but I like to get a clarity for one of the car. We always say certain things, but life is a funny thing. So we say similar words, exact words, and have a total different meaning in the heavens. So me I like a clearance as to say, what does it really mean exactly when we say put the woman up front? What does that mean, my Lord and Empress?
I would say, priest, it means giving us the opportunity to be who we are, to be able to have a voice, to be able to assist when necessary, and to be able to help the Congress and ourselves to move forward. Blessed.
Blessed.
Yes,
Give
Royal
thanks.
Chair.
Yes, my lord.
Yes, I think so. The Honorable Empress, do a great justice to what I was saying, you know what I mean? Yes, to ask another question. Well, I'm on used to lead the first of August going out. Instead of we have, the daughter them in the middle and the priest them at the front. We always now change the thing. It not must mean the right way neither, But what I used to do, I put the empress them in front of the priest them now. I use the
Okay.
empress them now to go and deliver the letter instead of the priest them would have go and do that. We allow the
Right.
empress them, right? So it no must mean, as how it should have mean neither. But that is my understanding at the moment. So my understanding no must mean say they get it right neither. You see it? Yes, we find out say every Sunday we are here reasoning, where I wanted to say the reasoning is beautiful. And we are not here, quarreling. We are ministering, sit to the chair and things like that. But it is still not attracting or inviting the elders then that should be get invited, right? Because, sometimes when I talk, it just seem like me I blame someone. But, there is something still going on that when you hear a man now, either a man go say, John never did create a elder council. So a man still there on the side, no matter how beautiful, we are here trying our best to solve, what is to be solved. Something is still amiss. You know what I mean? It is still not inviting even the elder, them neither. Or even some of the young individual them, because this is under 14 individual right now. I will sure say. Yes, the one them who are listening feel good. You know what I mean? As I say, I one of the best reasoning, not your quarreling kind of, for the time you hear even reasoning, the man them want to talk over them one another. So, I and I as elder council, it make the thing beautiful, but there is something is still going on that not attracting, you know what I mean? And it's not I and I to be blamed neither, you know what I mean? And me that say something where we're going now, you see, you know what I mean? Something where Babylon did do to us as a people, make we can just you know, see the greater good. People come together to get this thing at work. But there is something that is going on that even I as a God, as the priest said, we are gods and we have power. You see it? But our power still not knitting up the thing as though which that's necessary to knit it up too. Also there is just this big struggle like we are doing something wrong when you hear all the other people in a them sarcastic way when you hear them talk. 'Cause, when you listen them, sometimes them sarcastic way cause even life, you know what I mean? Because to we are held accountable. When you see we speak and we try to help, when you hear people talk, is within a sarcastic way. And if you know wise now, it even cause I want to lose their life. So something is going that I right now, I do have I finger upon the thing. I could even go look in Africa and say, time I go do everything. Just like how Abraham Tory now and the Sahel movement, I would say, we're still doing what we are doing and another part of the world, something beautiful is taking place. But amongst us, as Rastaman and Rasta woman, we say the only one who live on creation because everyone come short of this glory. I and I know in the glory where we have a Trinity. They don't do the work for us already. And I to reap this glory now, because Marcus come and do his work. The Emperor come and do his work. Emmanuel come and do his work. And now I reap the glory. And we are here petty squabbling. We don't put away our petty squabbling from amongst I and I. And yes, we are live streaming, but when I live stream, I can't come here, come pretend neither and nice it up just to we are live streaming. Me love it to be
Nice
real.
check.
You know what I mean?
Really.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I love it to be real and we that speak about what about the youth them too. But how many times you say the youth them are not interested? You know what I mean? Bingy are going and the youth them gather one other place. You know, and a long time these things are going. Some of the time I man have to say, who forgot them yard, go on them yard, do I go in a bingy, go on them. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it is not a village going a child, it's few individual talk to the children. Then some people that see them gather and leave them. But preacher that come and see them and say, it's bingy time. Who going in, go strength the bingy, go and go strength the bingy. If you don't go strength the bingy, I better wanna go home. So it's not all of us as village grow the youth. And he said youth, if you're not wise, then come burn it down forward. If you're not wise, because we see how enough of the bubble youth them end up today on perfect love.
To the
My
chair,
Lord.
to the chair.
Go ahead,
Petit
Empress.
what the word name, priest? Petit oh gosh. I'm here laughing. Bye, lad. I had a rebel to give thanks, yeah? Thanks to all what said and done. From man until now. Give thanks to the councils of elders. You know, great work I have put on. So right now, even when I was bridging Ghana, Africa, then I know say I work in Ghana put on down there. So we'll be hearing good
Rastafari.
news. Yeah, we'll be
Honorable
hearing.
Prince Nappy.
Nappy, yes. We'll be hearing good news from him shortly, you know, to see, you
Yes,
know.
man.
But and I had to still, so we give thanks. Still have a priest of that is not well conscious of elders. You need to check him out still, you know, and see how him doing
Yeah.
still, because that is the Elkanah there. Same way the
Yes, sir.
health and restoration, same way for the elders who don't have, you know, a caretaker or who don't have anyone to really look on him. So that's where we're coming to straighten the elders.
And
They
top
leave their
of a
home.
loving heart, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, cause you know they leave their woman family and come rally with the God of love. So we have to take care of them still and we give thanks. That's our work. And think even myself going through a situation right now still, but all is good, all is well. God is taking care and I give thanks. So touching precisely the question, what where was me also we put the Empress in front. So I know some of the brethren them on here, like Priest Earl, Priest Angie yourself, Priest Savannah, must hear the statement what just say when him say put the Empress in front. No disrespecting unto the honorable brethren them. Because we know say, you know, man is the head still. But that I say in time to come, which me know is this time we into right now. You know that when him send them out and knock on doors, the brethren them, you know, him said doors will not be open for them in this time, you know, because government people now go want to see them because they have been seeing them so much time over the many years coming for knocking on you know, agitating for repatriation and enough more things. So when them see them, I come to know them all, not want to see them. The door is gonna not be open. But when them see us, the bright and beautiful empresses, them you know, royal, and we greet them well and think the door will be open. And also when the door open, you know, him business can continue, his agitation, you know, can continue to go on. You understand? Because what won't happen for the brethren will happen for the empresses then. You see that how many times that has not him empress then. And when he come and when they come back with good news to him, what you want to hear. You understand? So that is one. I don't know if anybody have any more revelation, you know, but that is the revelation I get from my father, sitting down with him. You understand? Talking to him, you know, as he explained certain things, because it was a problem when just said that amongst the brothers there. Oh, woman, I go out front and and all kind of thing. But that I had to explain. You understand what he meant? And these are some of the words that the Father said to I and I, so we could understand. So we are great women are great, you know, we are great people, right? And we are loving people and we are bright. You know, we are bright and intelligent, you understand? So when a man see we boy dressing with robe and thing, And we fall and thing, yes. Them all want open the door for you, 'cause them all want hear what these lovely empresses are ladies or whatever are saying. What is their conversation, you see? So that is one way I know it, my Lord. I don't know if another one know it another way. I am here.
Give,
Blessed.
give
Thanks,
thanks,
Chris.
Empress. For it.
Empress here, I
Give
never
thanks.
read
Good share.
this Empress. Empress here.
337.
Not hearing.
Please,
Yeah, through
wrong,
the chair. What
please, wrong first. Please, hand,
it,
wrong's hand has
okay,
been
That
go
was
ahead.
forward.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
thy priest wrong. Thy priest wrong, Mike. Priest wrong.
Blessed love my
Priest wrong,
Lord
Mike.
and
Just make that noise. Yeah.
blessed love my Lord and Empress.
Blessed.
I wish to confirm somewhat what Empress Maisie just said. If we, also explain it from the beauty side, but now touch the legal side now. If you go into the United Nations and towards laws, if you find there are things like the surge, the women of the world are more protected by the legal administrations of this colonial system. So that has given them the opportunity or the foothold to even make greater legal representation for the African community because they are more accommodated than I and I, the man, my Lord and Empress. So that is
And I
my
repeat.
confirmation towards
Yes.
what Empress just said. You know, secondly, let me just close it off with this. Whether it's your home, your government, or your church, everything has to have an economic platform. And without you set out your economic platform for your start and your development, you don't have no plan. And the reason for one of the big things why I know that they dig up the Empress League. One time that I tell the congregation saying budget short. And only one man could have come up and tell that I say, you know, say me dey have a little savings round the south. And that was a lesson. And when that formed the Empress League put together a financial platform amongst themselves, which up till now I have yet to see done amongst the brethren. No disrespect, but are the reality, my Lord and Empress.
Give
My
thanks,
Lord.
Chris.
Give
Give
thanks and
thanks
every
to.
priest wrong.
Yes, I.
And I have a priest seventh.
My Lord and Empress.
My Lord.
Yes. Listening to Priest Earl talk about the August 1st march, you know, yeah, it bring back a remembrance. And, you know, when I recall going around 7 times, you know, and singing Peace, Perfect Peace. And the Empress and them are in front up by the East Guard. I always saw that it signifies peace. When you see the Empress and them first, it shows that we come in peace. We come in
Yeah.
peace and love. You understand? And when you check other things that go on in the world, even within business, I would have tell you, I would have want a woman at a receptionist desk. I would want a woman at a counter. You know, that pleasant aura
Yeah.
and the more soft spoken, sensitive energy. It is
Yeah.
more attractive, you know, to the
And they're
outside.
renowned too.
Yeah. So it's just natural. It's so we would have win them.
My
You see
Lord.
it with that balance, and you see how it go. This is Majesty Day, you know. You see it, but Empress man must be acknowledged. Celestia, yeah,
Jah.
Rasta,
Rastafari.
my
My Lord.
Lord.
Give thanks and every priest sevens.
I think
My
Chris
Lord.
has had his stand up.
And every priest as well, my Lord. Happy celebration. And meet your mic, priest as well. Well, while we
So
wait on people,
through the chair, yeah, through the chair, I will keep him space warm. Anytime him come in, I will free up him space if I am allowed.
Blessed Lord,
yes,
my
sir.
Lord. Give thanks
All
for
right,
warming up
yeah,
this place, my honorable priest, Rashtawana. You can
Give
warm up
thanks,
my
my
place
brother.
anytime. Give thanks.
Give thanks, my
I'd like
brother. Give
to.
thanks.
Greetings in the name of our Lord and precious Savior, Negus Christus, who have revealed none less this personality of his Imperial Majesty, who the right honorable prophet did speak about. And even the Queen tell us, don't forget the man. Nobody is to interfere with the man 10 miles out of the bloody city, you know, King Emmanuel. So we know we are not here by guess or by mistake, and we are coming together to do what is right. But are we doing what is right? I have one problem with that. But I will talk about the things we are doing. We are doing what we are doing and gathering each other for the better, for the benefits for the man leave for us to do, to carry up this works and to carry Godship, which people doesn't know. People be waiting and guessing, and we looking and dependent from an outside source too much. And everything that we need is in us. So we have to more look internally to do what we have to do to verify all our works and our duty. We need to follow up on little things like when we come up with certain situations, we follow it. Empress Macy come with a 4 weeks plan, every week a different situation, and then it will just drop like in a pile of things waiting. And then somebody will talk about a different conclusion of a different strategy, and we drop things. I think we need to continue. And a favorite word from the Honorable Chairman is continuity. So we must continue from the meetings from before, the minutes from before, and keep our things more consistent and more tight because we are doing the right thing. But everybody is confused. People doesn't know what we are doing. So we are looking from an outside source for outside help when everything we need is in our minds, goody and soul. But if we work together and communicate as brothers and sisters, putting the Empress in front, we will proceed and we will do the things that are right. Everyone needs somebody and everyone needs to know some more. What are we doing? We are trying to come together. What we have to show to prove that we say a lot and that we did accomplish not too much, but for more reasons than the other. I am to blame likewise because we don't follow up. Our consistency need to be there when we discuss something this week, going on the Wednesday in the inner council, deal with it and just a little more tight, keep things more tight. We are doing a great job and give thanks for this 134th celebration coming up for the mighty King who came to rule and light in our minds, telling us we must be able to work together with different races, with different creed, with different sectors of Rastafari to bring out one union. Because we are not working just for the black race first, because we are being misled and we are being confused, and some of us doesn't even know our right position. We doesn't know everything belongs to us and it came for us because we tend to stop reading and stop writing, and I want to say Rastafari and can't tell you what it entails. I'm going a little too long, so I'm going to leave words for other people to say. But I think we need to continue being stronger and be consistent. And if we don't know something, say we don't know it. So we could be good leaders, we have to be good readers. A teacher must first learn, my Lord and Empresses. Give thanks for all the wise heads, all the empresses, first and foremost, and all the generals and the journalists and chairmen and the elders who sit down at the hem of His Majesty to bring this to where it is today. So we are doing something in a great spot, and we must love each other in celebration and keep the heart of celebration, always welcoming the right and eliminating or eradicating the wrong. My Lord and Empress, blessed Lord.
my Lord. Um, in the 70s, in the 70s, Rastafari was, it was almost in style, was a popularity. Brotherhood was strong, coming out of Black Power and all them things from in the 60s. Yeah, man like Curtis Mayfield. The whole black world was moving in our union. Brother used to call one another. In the 70s, it was like everybody wanted to hearken onto uh, Rastafari way of life because it was a expression of our black selves. with a black king. It was just black. But then here come the 80s, and they bring in the thing called Pilico, and that mash up the black world. When people didn't used to wear no wig in the 70s, it's either you have an afro or you have a small fro. The woman them is either they have cornrow or they dreadlocks or they braid up their head. The Pilico bring in a faint sense of identity where the wig and the makeup and all them sitting there vain thing, woman start wear extra shorty. Come right down into this time here in the 2020s, where we see the influence of stupidity is ruling the world. When you look at some big people who supposed to be bigger than you, cause you don't go to school like them and them thing and they run. And when you hear the stupidity that is coming out of their mouths, I tried listen and I do a kind of a survey and it's a fact. Right now, it's people like sense. It started already with news, sensational news. They don't want to tell you the truth, they want to tell you this something happened and this guy. So you always have a fear mongrel thing. The weather, it gonna do this. So it's always a fear. And it come and it manifests itself now, even from in the greater powers up in America where you see who running the place there. It's stupidity, and you cannot argue with stupidity. They will bring you down to the level and beat you off of experience. So it have that air in the earth right now where we just have to continue and give thanks to the twos and fews who get in that internal calling and are coming. Because we can't do akakalaka. You could have bill. It have some people, you just can't show them logic. As I was showing them Patricia Price Wednesday, we speak from a logical point of view. But when you argue with a man who is not giving credence to the laws of logic, who will just say anything, how could you argue with? What could you show that man? So we dealing with that kind of a breed right now in the earth. So, to answer Priest Earl, we could only do what we can do. But it is what it is. And we have to just continue. Janet say 80 million careless Ethiopians. Well, let's say you don't need to that. 88 careless Ethiopians will go down. But the chosen few, not to say we are the chosen few, but we are the voice crying out in the wilderness. Prepare your way for the coming of the far rise at hand, which is I and I said way. And we see it working in all the shaman drudgery. It still have a lot of black entrepreneurs. We see an influx of black Americans going to Africa. I tell you how I hear the baby step in one of my brethren's voice to see how we're going to concentrate on the hungry, be fed, naked, clothed, sick, nourished, aid, protected, and the infants cared for from a young man. That is good. So we are on the good path. And marvel not, when people say all these things about you. Count yourself lucky when you are going to drive a civilization because of his namesake, the Black Christ. Selassie I, Shah, Rastafari, my Lord and Empress. Floor is open. Yes, I am.
Yes, Majesty. Now, as we all know we all know the problems. We know all the problems that exist. We can, list them in chronological order. So yeah, we don't lack knowledge of that. Now, what has been, the reason for our decline and our demise? It's influence. We are a people, we are a creation that is given to influence. And just as P.W. Botha in 1986, in his address to his parliament, stated, about black people, so them study we, them know our weaknesses and our strengths, them know our likes and dislikes and so forth and so on. They have taken centuries and studied I and I, and they know how to pull our strings. First of all, the influence that dominates our community is music. Now, they did away with the king's music and they brought in a thing them called hip hop and dancehall. So the influencers of our children is people like Lil Wayne and Vibes Cartel. Now, think about the two people I'm talking about. Think about their history. Think about their lifestyle, what they represent. And we can see the problem that we are up against. We also have taken on this minstrel attitude. We are professional entertainers, meaning we are professional shock and jivers. See, yeah, we will do any stupidity to entertain and to entertain the masses because that's what we do. There is a story about a Virgin actor, Chris Tucker, who went to Japan and met with the ruling body of Japan, whether you want to call him the Emperor of Japan or whoever, whatever the title them hold. And while being there in the leader's presence, he wanted to take some photograph because you know the selfie thing is the thing that around the world. He wanted to take some photograph with the leader. And the leader asked him some questions before he agreed or disagreed to take the photo. He asked him if what he's seeing on television is a reality. Because he says when he looks at that television, he sees black people, people of African descent, profiling themselves in some demeaning manner, whether it is to earn dollars or to gain fame and popularity and whatever, you know. And he ridiculed that. And he said to the Virgin that before him take a picture with him, he needs to go and find himself. Now I'm paraphrasing. Find himself, go know himself. Because the image of black people is not an image that he would want to take a picture with. See? And I'm saying all that to say, these are the influences in our communities. We are electing the lesser of two evils. We are not shunning the evil and demanding good. We are falling for the joke. We are shucking and jiving, putting on acts to entertain people. And we have become professionals at it. It started on the slave ship, you know. The only time they would allow us above deck to get some sun and to free up a little was when we came up and they allowed us to drum and do whatever we did to entertain ourselves. But it has become a way of our life. See, you have the Martin Lawrences and the Chappelles and the all these stand-up comics who cross-dress, you know, dress up themselves as women to get a laugh and do all kinds of demeaning things to entertain. No wonder we have the problems we have, you know. And then now we come on board now as the conscious community, as the Rastafari, Ras, the head, and we are not showing any greater light in our own practices. So we see where the problem is, you know. How do we solve these problems? How do we return back that air of importance to the grandfather and the grandmother who, back in the day of the African liberty, were the center of the family, were the ones that were the custodians of the liberty, that passed down the oral information to I and I, the oral traditions to I and I, those elixirs that healed us when we were sick, those words that soothed us when we were sorrowful, those, songs that uplifted us and entertained us when we needed it. How do we return back that value system to our community is where we should be looking. See, now, and that will segue into answering the question. See, what is meant? Let us put it that way. What is meant when we say put the empresses up front? What did King Emmanuel mean? I have heard many statements, and all are right. It's not a wrong and right thing. It's expressions from each individual giving their understanding of the statement. I will add my little 2 cents to it. It may be simplistic, but some of us simple, so I will add my simplistic statement to it. In putting the empresses up front, it's qualifying and quantifying their thoughts. Because coming out of our path, we ignored the female because we came up in a Christian past where it is a male dominated reality that existed. See, it was Christianity, religion, that took the female from her rightful position as the center of the village, the center of the community, to being a domestic person within the community. So in putting the females up front is for I and I to encourage and to help them to develop their independence, their independent thoughts, their independent approach and outlook. It is not to culture them to fashion I and I way of thinking and I and I approach. See, because that is not the way of God. See, if so, we would have been born like the animal, where we are subjugated to just how nature defines us. But instead, the Almighty give I and I free will, give I and I intellect. That little word there, enough ones run from it, them put it with intelligence and academia and kind of mess it up. But intellect is the ability to understand and to express your understanding. It is for I and I to help the empresses to fashion their own intellect, to develop their own intellect. And in so doing, they become empowered now to assist the whole struggle for equal rights and justice. Because now we have critical thinkers among the empresses who, when they are at the table, we will have to shut up and listen keenly because they are coming with some high level of science that can assist I and I to conquer the demons that we are fighting. But we are not yet there. Neither side of the table is there. Neither I and I, who is to facilitate that, nor they who are to be that. The empresses need to come out of the shadows of their brethren and their fathers and their brothers and become an image of their own selves. And in so doing, speak demandingly, commandingly, as divine feminine energies. Forget the Adam and Eve story. Forget the thing about you come out of a rib and you were afterthought and all of that. Forget that and embrace the reality that Haile Selassie the first and Empress Menen set. In 1930, him demand that the Empress be crowned within the same moment, within the same cathedral, within the whole same settings as he, to show the equality of the genders. See, while the emperor traveled extensively across the world the empress held down the throne or held up the throne, see, by administrating as he did. The same thing that he would have done when if he was there, she did when he wasn't there. She commanded the army, she commanded private sector, she commanded education, she commanded healthcare. She was a force to be reckoned with and a force to be loved. And she was the most beloved, not the emperor. The emperor is the divine symbol. But when it comes to the people loving someone, the entire Ethiopia, not one tribe or this tribe or that tribe, the entire Ethiopia loved the empress. They mourned and mourned and mourned and mourned and mourned and mourned excessively when she passed. That the emperor had to make a crown decree begging and beseeching the people to find back some normalcy. You understand? So, what is meant? It is meant that we should sit with our sisters as equals at the table and listen to what they have in their hearts, what they're expressing from their minds, seeing, and try to add ours to it now. And together, that balance of energy, the male and the female divine energy, that balance will guide us in the right direction. My few words, my simplistic view. Family, blessed love.
Blessed love, my Lord and Empress. Happy celebration. Even up to today, Her Majesty is very known and loved amongst the Ethiopian woman. Give thanks.
Truly, Mama Lily. Truly. Yep. Yes, family. Time is coming down. If we are not engaging, then, we can call it a moment and give thanks to the Almighty for this glorious moment to hail His name proudly, because this is the one thing among I and I, among the world of black people, even though a lot of them might not know. This is the one thing that we surely have that we can be proud of. Seeing there was a divine couple out of a little place called Kush. I'm not even going to use Ethiopia because Ethiopia was the entire continent. A little place called Abyssinia, Kush. That divine couple, Emperor Haile Selassie I and Empress Menen Aswa, who have truly made I and I proud to be Africans, to be people of color, seen by the divine way in which they have lived and have set the standard for humanity. See, she was considered the mother of mothers, the queen of queens. See, yeah, those two titles, just check them. The mother of mothers. Why? Because she mothered the whole Ethiopia. All the females coming up under her tenure were her children. And you could see it by how she ministered to them. She created the first female school. She created factories to employ them. She sponsored them to grow and go in places that were restricted prior to her tenure because the woman was held down. It was not until 1960 that a female represented Ethiopia in athletics, in sports then. Seen? Which many of I and I, we down sports, but sports is a vital part of creation. See, sports is one of the things that link people together with all their differences. So, whereas each one is free to their opinion, it's still a vital part of the continent of Africa and how it functions. And it was not until 1960 that a female was allowed to represent Ethiopia. All these changes came under the Empress and the Emperor. From the abolition abolishing of slavery and the sexist, chauvinist, male-dominated approach to government and governing, to where females now were able to hold decision-making positions in the government and in the realm. All of this came under those divine energies, that balance, see. And the emperor, what he said at her passing, that throughout their life, they did not need a mediator for any circumstance between them, meaning that there was no conflict that got out of control. See, it is written in his autobiography that the empress was his greatest confidant, his advisor. When no one else could get him to do certain things, when the empress found it prudent and defended it, he would see the reality in it. See? So we give thanks. We can be proud, on this, during this moment, leading up to the 23rd, I and I can be proud to heal those two divine energies, Emperor Haile Selassie I, Rastafari, and Mama Amiga I, Rastafari.
Blessed. Give thanks, honorable priest and
That's
priest.
right.
And before we do come down, we do give thanks for the EABIC Council of Elders and to this presentation, 134th year celebration of the birth of Lich Tafari. And in the spirit of Ubuntu, we ask the EABIC Council of Elders expresses their condolences to the family of Nolan Wells, the young brother who was unalived recently. And may you find comfort in knowing that he was a loving person with exemplary character, and may the ancestors receive him, and may he rest in eternal paradise. Please accept our condolences, and this is to the family of the young man, Nolan Wells, in the spirit of Ubuntu, my Lord and Empress. Back to the chair.
Majesty bless.
And I will jump in and add to that, that there was a young sister whose life was taken at a gas station here in Jamaica. She was a gas station attendant. Okay. And her life was meaninglessly taken. Was it, up to now, it still make me feel a way. It tie up my meditation. I can't even think clearly when I think of it. Seeing watching the video, it's this little princess was doing a little menial job, serving at the pump. You understand? And these four evil came up in her car, ordered gas. She opened their tank, filling the gas. They gave her whatever funds it was. Three of them alighted from the car. One of them pulled the little cash, whatever, little water cash that she had in her hand, out of her hand, jumped back in the car, and the last one who was to go back in the car, instead of he just go about his business, pushed her and shot her for absolutely no reason. She was not putting up resistance. She was not shouting for help. She was just stunned. She was like stunned, like totally stunned, comatose. And they just took her life like that. Yeah. So I will add to what you're saying. Condolences to the family of that princess. Condolences to I and I, a nation of people that continue to suffer these kind of atrocities that have been brought down on us from this colonial development which we find ourselves in. Blessed love, family. Arthur love.
My Lord. Yes, I come. I send the condolences. So
Yes, I'm the priest. But them not take
yes,
long to get them board suits still, because remember them feel so on the camera. So the police give them forward them board suit quick.
okay. Well, we are about to come down. If anyone have any other thing with us speak now, please Earl, you can bring it down. 2 points I want to make. Go ahead. Blessed.
Make your points.
The first is that I will be rising a celebration in my yard Thursday because I refuse to go up on off trace with the last day sickness. I didn't even have no service again this Sabbath. So Joshua will say we don't fight to praise God. Praise God with a free heart. So I try to go rise a little service downstairs there in our apartment now. Yeah, them go see our invitation. When they put it up by today, tomorrow for the latest. You know what I mean? And I have a pre-sevens in the place. And a couple other man and woman will be there also. So in commemoration for His Majesty and prelude to his Earth Strong that the whole world is celebrating at this moment coming down, we'd like to give the man 3 hip hip hooray. Hip hip hooray. Hip hip.
Hey.
Hip hip.
Hooray!
My Lord and Empress. Blessed Lord. Priest Earl, you can bring it down, my Lord.
Yes, royal family, do give thanks. It's such a beautiful moment, you know. And as I call for your reverence, do give thanks also again for the 134 year anniversary, you know, the birth, you know, of our King of King, you know. And we do give thanks. It's such a beautiful Mother's Day because we love the woman. You know what I mean?
Honorable, blessed. Pardon me. Just I said me miss out everything. Oh, the mic is unmuted.
Who this? Adigan?
Yeah, sorry, you know, me get caught up and me couldn't make it, but me I said just before the item and log out, give thanks, you know,
Yeah.
me just get the last half still, but I guess it was a good reasoning, but I mean, well, if it was live streamed, I'll check it out.
It was live stream.
All right, I'll check it out. But yeah, blessed love to the royal family and out of celebration coming up one and all, my Lord and Empress.
My
Well,
Lord.
Emmanuel, I list the last year. Yeah.
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 Rastafari.
Rastafari. Continue bringing it down, my Lord and Empress. Blessed.
Majesty.
Yes, royal family, as I do call for your reverence, you know, again, you know.
Reverence.
Yes, you know, virtually, the whole, how good and how pleasant it is for us brethren and our sisters to dwell together in unity and in love. It is like the precious ointment that is upon the head that run down upon the beard, even the hair and beard that went down upon the skirt of his garment. As a dew for a man, and as a dew that ascended upon the mountain of Zion. For ye Rastafari command the blessing in life and love forevermore. So hail our God, Selassie, Jehovah God, Rastafari. O Almighty God, Rastafari, great and terrible God, Rastafari is the Almighty God. Jah who seated in Zion and reigned the heart of all flesh. O thou most high, eternal Father, Jehovah God, Rastafari. Hear us and bless us, O Lord, keep and sanctify us all. Cause thy holy face to shine upon us, thy children, that we shall be sealed and redeemed. Holy Emmanuel, I, Selassie, I, Jah, Rastafari. Do give thanks, you know, for the mother of Salem. Brought their children to Rastafari. You know, the stern disciple tried to drove us back and bid us to depart. But Rastafari saw us where we fled and sweetly smiled and kindly said, suffer the little children to come unto high.
Die.
Selassie,
Yeah.
Rastafari. One perfect love, royal family, you know, beautiful reasoning.
My Lord.
We know, sir, the world, we still were here, we still full joy. Blessed.
Yes.
Blessed love, family.